What's good, everybody? Y'all know who it is. It's your boy, the Grandmaster Troll, here to give you guys some of the best trolling content YouTube has to offer. Shout out to the Reject Army, the Nifnas, and the blah 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 gorilla simps, the gorilla pimps, the single women in the chat. We see them right now. We got Let's Troll in the building. We got Trinity Time Travels in the building. But most importantly, witness the power in the mic that is the most dangerous troll today. Yes, I'm going to finish up yesterday's stream. I want to open up the panel and see who wants to come on and give their thoughts on the Manosphere meetup and what happened. But the title of this one is Theo Waf tricked off $35,000 on the Black Manosphere meetup. We're going to talk about what the money was spent on, because there's a lot of people in this sector who want to do conventions. They want to do meetups. They want to do seminars. So we just got to break down the business side of it first. But before we get to any of that, we know GMT got to bring the fuckery. I was watching Red's the Bad Guys live show on the playback because I missed a lot of it while I was at work, and it seemed that your boy Theo came on and he tried to explain, what went wrong, what he spent money on, what was unacceptable, what's he gonna do better next time. I guess they're planning to do another meetup in Houston. He was talking about all that stuff, and your boy AJC and Red came up on the panel. Your boy AJ Red came up on the panel, and I guess he wanted some smoke because he didn't like the way the conversation was going. AJC and Red thought people were being disingenuous. People were being fake, and the Grandmaster Troll pulled up a couple of clips that may condemn, that may convict, or maybe even exonerate those individuals who were being accused. Let's see who we got in the chat. We got Jerome Whiteside, Reed Jones, Let's Troll, THMC, Ricardo Rodney, Vic House of Alexander, Bootleg Heart Studio, Mr. E. Ghosting Wild Blacks in the building. Haven't seen that name in a while. Cassandra Brown, Bud, and a couple of other people. But we gotta address a little bit of the fuckery that went on. So with that said, let's go ahead and get right to last night's stream, if we may, and let's go ahead and roll the clip.
Y'all know there's some bullshit, right? You know there's some bullshit, right?
What do you mean?
You got this man right here on the panel, right, Theo, correct? And do we know prior, Reggie, the shit y'all was saying about him before? Now he's here. You're not saying that shit. What we doing? What you mean saying what? Wasn't y'all turning around talking about? Wasn't y'all sitting there talking about? Whoa.
We all getting around to it, AJ. We get a chance. We gonna.
Are you?
He's up here.
Yeah. You full of shit.
Well, hey,
I said about the weight. Did I say about the weight? I just asked him about the weight. I just asked him about the weight. Man, fuck out of here, man. You call this man socially awkward.
I didn't call him socially awkward.
Yes, you did. You agree with it. Yes, you did. You agree with it. And then y'all sit back and...
I didn't call him socially awkward.
I ain't got to lie, Rich. I didn't got to lie, sir.
Pull back the video. You don't hear me. Any of this video say anybody socially awkward. I had good things to say about this.
No, you didn't. No, I'm talking about him. I'm talking about him.
I didn't say anything bad about Theo.
And you hated against the Manosphere meetup, nigga.
I never hated against the Manosphere meetup.
Yes, you did.
I got my I have my critical views of it. But I don't hate on it.
It was. You were hating, nigga. Man, Jerome, fuck you. You bitch ass nigga. You the bitch too, Jerome.
So you gonna come on here and do
this. So your boy AJ seeing red. I guess he wanted some smoke that day. He came on the panel. He thought, Reg called your boy Theo socially awkward. The whole meetup wasn't going to work. They were going to fail. This, that, and the third. That's where the accusations. Now, from what I recall, I remember Reg being for the meetup, and thought it was a great idea that guys were going to come together and actually build something. Now, there were small little critiques and criticisms on how it was being set up and who was being involved and how they were mixing Manosphere with IT tech. But for the most part, brothers in this space was supportive of these dudes doing the meetup. In fact, your boy, let's see if I could pull it up real quick. Your boy, the Grandmaster Troll, dug in the archives. I dug in the archives and went back to pull up some footage because Red said play the tape, and we got to play the tape on what Reg the bad guy said. Will Reg the bad guy be exonerated? Because this is why everybody hates Reg. They say he's two-faced. They say he will talk trash about your business, call you socially awkward. Then when he gets you on a panel for an interview, he's real nice and respectful. And all that smoke that he was saying about you weeks earlier, he's now singing a different tune in the future. And those are the accusations that are being played, and it's hard to bring up the tape on Reg the Bad Guy's channel because he doesn't typically give his live streams a particular name, so it's actually hard to go back and track down. But the Black Manosphere meetup has been its own searchable tag, and it's easy to put in Reg the Bad Guy Manosphere meetup, which I did, and we went back to the October 18th stream right here, where Reg the Bad Guy was talking about the meetup after they were on the Bernard Riley show. And when it was time to talk about the Manosphere meetup, this is what your boy Reg the Bad Guy said.
I'm sure he's gonna promote his book there and stuff like that. So I don't have nothing bad to say about this because I've been trying to tell brothers this is what we need to do in that space if you really want to push the space to the next level and get it out of being a niche. You have to do stuff like this in the first place, or you're gonna say well, space is nothing, it's a niche, this and that and third. Now having this conference, the space is no longer no niche. And you got people that supporting it that got money. Here comes the hate. Red brothers hating on brothers. So I've been saying a long time, if you want to take this space seriously, you're gonna have to do stuff like this. You know, you got to put up a website, stuff like that. You know, you have to have a conference, a meetup, whatever the case may be. You're going to do this, so I have no problem with it. Now, I'm not part of the Black Manosphere, but, you know, I can't hate on this because this is what I was saying when I was a part of it. Even when I was a part of it, you're going to have to do something like this eventually. You know, brothers to put their money together and get them to do this conference, you know. But apparently, you know, Theo Waf came down, part of the space, red pill, you know, he put his money up to do it. Now I think that he was doing, I think the people in the IT is mad at it because it was supposed to be, he was holding an IT conference, but he changed it and put the Black Manosphere meetup along with it. And they have people having problems with it, you know. I didn't get to finish hearing the rest of their video. It was talking about it. Listen, you going? You be going? Good. Yeah, they saying that they got, you know, Little Big Nate is doing some, you could say, screening. So, you know, anybody ain't gonna be getting in there. Now the question is that will Angry Man, BGS, and Dr. Spencer Holman, which has a trademark on the word Black Manosphere, have office for its magazine, that is, are they gonna show up? I'm sure they got an invite. I think they were talking about it, but are they gonna show up? You know, because you know, they're on the other side. You know, but apparently Obsidian said that, you know, he's welcome to come, you know. I think a Little Big Nate is a chance to squash the beef or something like that. Well, we'll see what happens, you know. It's just I don't know about them because they got their own thing. You know, Every Man and BGS and all of them over there, you know, Kendra D are all down with, you know, Dr. Spencer. I mean, Dr. Spencer Holman. You know, I don't know. I mean, but they're not using the name Black Manosphere as far as, you know, a magazine or something. But I have to look at the copyright. But I think it was more for a line of a magazine than anything.
Now I'm playing the video and I don't hear Reg the bad guy talking bad about Theo. He supported the movement. He wanted to know if BGS Itmore is going to show up. We all know that BGS Itmore ain't left his house in 20 years unless he going to the grocery store. We all know the Angry Man ain't showing up. And we know O'Shea ain't showing up. Kevin Samuels supposed to be there. Even he didn't show up. He on the movie set chasing white dollars. Salute to Kevin Samuels. But they were supposed to. They say AJC and Red said Reg the bad guy was hating and called Theo socially awkward. Somebody in the chat said it was Super Sly that said it. Now Reg the bad guy, he may have laughed. And by his laugh, it may have been interpreted as an agreement. But Reg the bad guy didn't say that your boy Theo was socially awkward. But let's get back to it because we're almost done with the clip right here. We're almost done. I know Reg is a hard listen for you guys because he's sipping his beer as he's doing the show. You know, he says this, that, and the third. You know, and all this other stuff. But let's go back and listen to the clip.
This is Reg. You are still Black Manosphere by de facto. Once you in, there's no getting out. Yeah, I want to see if it goes good. You know, they got the money behind them, which is good. It's not like C Boogie event where he's actually he got problems with people paying this, paying that, but they hold an event. This is actually a real proper event, so we'll see how it goes. I want to see how it really goes, and on here now, I'm not going. I told people I'm not doing any damn thing until this Corona shit is over. I don't care. It's just, that's me. I'm not doing nothing. I ain't stepping out of nowhere. I might go down. I wanted to go to some of these amusement parks, Disneyland and shit like that, and Disney World. But I can't even do that. Imagine I can't even do that shit right now. I'm not doing it. I go to the mall. That's about it. I want to go to these beer functions, but I'm not going to do that, man, until this shit is completed. They say what we did.
So your boy Reg, the bad guy, he's still a little scared of COVID, even though everybody else is outside, making moves, making money, people are still scared of the pandemic, still scared to go outside, still scared to come out the house, and try and deal with the big bully on the block known as COVID-19. But your boy Reg the bad guy, he didn't say that. So it looks like to me that, it looks like your boy AJ Seen Red may owe your guy Reg the bad guy an apology. But the next video I want to play, if I can find it, because I tried to cut this content creator a small little break. I tried to cut him a small little break. I tried to give him, the benefit of the doubt, And I was on this one particular YouTube channel. I saw another couple of live streams,
Some viewers.
Well, I saw D-Derail's live stream about this particular individual. I tried to cut, your boy Little Big Nate some slack because I'm not really a heavy watcher of the Little Big Nate show. I haven't seen him on other panels, I haven't seen him go after other people, call other people names. Well, I was on the Bala X channel, one of these great tracking channels of the Manosphere where you could get clips and highlights of the ongoings in the Manosphere. When I clicked on that video, this is what I heard, this is what I saw. So with that said, let's play the clip.
May find the following video disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
I'm gonna cut your throat. I'm gonna cut your throat, nigga. Nobody insulted anybody until he came up here. He called me a loser. You don't get to insult me, you effeminate. I'm gonna cut your throat. I'm gonna cut your throat, nigga. Nigga. You stupid, ugly, dirty nigga. Fuck you. Fuck you. I'll be in Atlanta December 34th. Faggot. Bring your ass to Atlanta. Faggot. Bring your ass to Atlanta. Faggot. Whoa. Hey, hold on. I'm gonna cut your throat. I'm gonna cut your throat, nigga. Dirty nigga. You stupid, ugly, Dirty nigga. Fuck you. Fuck you. Power.
Time out. Stop the show. Stop the show. You mean we got little Big Nate on YouTube looking the way he look? Hold on. Let's go to the little Big Nate we gotta go to the little Big Nate YouTube channel. Because it looks like some Negroes need some work. It looks like some Negroes need, since we on,
2, 3, set, go.
Since we're on YouTube, talking about whose throat we gonna cut, who we gonna fight in the city of Atlanta, it's always good to see what these Negroes look like. We talked about Obsidian, he's sitting in a chair with his butt in the air, spine crooked like an S. He may have scoliosis. If you have some medical condition, I'm sorry for your ailment. But from what you've been saying to dudes on YouTube, I know a dude who has scoliosis wouldn't come on YouTube and talk about all the dudes he gonna fight, telling people to catch a flight and whose throat you gonna cut. Once you start making threats of violence on other people on YouTube, it doesn't matter if you have a disease that making you sit with your spine curved like an S and your butt in the air in a room full of guys, because it would have been a sight to see. It would have been a sight to see one of the guys that the Obsidian threatened to fight, in particular the Angry Man. If Angry Man would have walked in the room and your boy is sitting there like this with his booty in the air, knowing that some real smoke is about to come. It would have been real funny, but we gotta go back to little Big Nate, because now since we know what he looked like, now since he calling people ugly and dusty and whose throat he gonna cut, we can have some fun with this right here. Now, I won't go too heavy into little Big Nate, because I actually enjoy some of the content, the very small content that I like, but for a dude to come up to the Manosphere meetup. See, when I fast forward right here, let me see if I can fast forward right here. We got dudes out here, We got dudes out here in hats, I'm looking at the film and I'm sitting here, I'm saying, this is the problem with black men. We got too many black men who want to go to the mall and look good in front of other Negroes and stun on other Negroes instead of building in the community. That's one thing I said. Well, on the other spectrum, we got your boy Big Nate. We got too many Negroes, ain't got no money, shopping at Walmart, Salvation Army store, Goodwill, not taking a personal appearance seriously. I mean, this looks like one of the shirts you get. This looks like one of the shirts you get on Christmas from one of your aunties or your grandma or something that you get. You look at it and you put it in the back of the closet and you never wear it. But your boy, little Big Nate, chose to go to the back of the closet and get that same shirt and wear it to the meetup, knowing this was going to be the first time everybody was going to see him. Knowing that everybody was going to see him. This is what your boy little Big Nate decided to wear. Baby V-neck sweater, navy blue, maroon, olive green, just a terrible color combination with some khaki pants. This is what your boy decided to wear to the meetup. This is what he decided to show with everybody in the Manosphere. The kind of game, the kind of charisma, the kind of swag, style, flavor that he had. This is what he wanted to show everybody. knowing he was on here calling people ugly and this, that, and the third. I mean, this is a bad luck. It's a shame that Kevin Samuels wasn't there because he could have helped little Big Nate with his image, got him some threads, got him right, got him presentable. Because instead of talking about the tech, instead of talking about the information technology, instead of talking about the education, we gotta talk about what little Big Nate looked like, because little Big Nate didn't show up presentable. Nobody talking about what Minister Jack was wearing. Nobody talking about what Bernard Riley was wearing. Nobody talking about what Theo was wearing. Hell, nobody even talking about what Obsidian was wearing. We talking about how Obsidian was sitting. We talking about what little Big Nate looked like and what Obsidian said on the microphone. This is what we're talking about. See, this the problem with the community. You see, Theo, I gotta go ahead and break down how all of this works, because you came to the Black Manosphere. You came to the Black Manosphere with 30 bands large, even more than that, because as you said on Rez the Bad Guy show, you went over budget, and we appreciate you digging in your pockets and giving all your money to the white man. Allegedly. But you should have learned from your boy George Macon of the Urban Nerds. He could come on YouTube, do something positive, doing something real positive for black boys, have the titles be real positive, taking to the Urban Nerds to, to find a cure for cancer, taking the Urban Nerds to the STEM fields to do this, taking to the Urbaners to the presidential office so they could run to be president, go in the future. We all know none of those videos, unfortunately, don't get any views. Theo, if you want your stuff to pop in the Black Manosphere, you gotta have little clickbait titles like I got right here in the title. See, it's early, 9 o'clock in the morning, Pacific time. I got 135 people watching. I need 135 people to hit the like button and support the show. Hit the Cash App, $, the Grandmaster Troll. It looks like JR had a song that he wanted to play, that he requested. I don't know what the song is. Whatever it is, I'll be sure to work it in the stream somehow. But you see, Theo, if you want to be strictly education in this space, you are going to be hard pressed to find support. You're going to be hard pressed to get the numbers according to Obsidian. You're going to be very hard pressed to try to complete your ultimate goal, which is being a legit competitor to Google and Facebook, strictly off education, information, and the betterment of black men. But if you could niggify it up, bring a little fuckery in, which is probably why you use Obsidian, because you know they would bring eyeballs. In fact, I know that you guys have been getting eyeballs. Let's see if I could pull up the clip real quick that I wanted to show you. Let's see. 411 Talk Zone. We gotta go back to the channel that provided so much of the good quality right here. We gotta go back to it right here. You see Theo, when we go to the Talk Zone and we look at the view count of all the old videos, he was hitting for 245, 226, 189, 193, trying to show himself in the suit, looking real professional, this, that, and the third, basically hitting for just up under 200 views. But however, when he did the Manosphere meetups in people like us, people like the Grandmaster Troll, Reg the Bad Guy, D the Real, I believe Task Exclusives did a hit piece on it. All of a sudden, these videos on your boy's channel which could barely get 200 views. The one with your AWS account hit for 320. He had one with the IT conference hit for 405. The Manosphere meetup hit for 1K. Brother Obsidian speaking hit for 600 views. All I'm trying to tell you, Theo, is when the Black Manosphere dudes like us see this shit, we know how to break down that content and advertise it and market it to the masses. We know how to get eyeballs on your stuff. This is our job because we once tried to be positive for the community in the space known as the Black Manosphere. But the Black Manosphere isn't all about education and information. You gotta put some entertainment spin. You gotta put some troll spin on it. You gotta dress it up and make it eatable for the masses. Make it digestible for the masses. And this is what guys like me, Reg the Bad Guy, Task Exclusives, D Derail, Expose the Manosphere. This is what we are gonna do. We're gonna find and get eyeballs on your product. When we do, Theo, you need to be ready. You need to have a website. You need to have a digital footprint, a landing page, because we are going to show that landing page. We are looking to get you some traction, but you got to be ready. And it appears that you weren't 100% ready, because when it comes to your whole AWS, I didn't know where to go to look it up, so I had to actually listen to what you said. I typed in AWS and I saw all this Amazon stuff come up, this, that, and the third, and I was kind of lost as to what the AWS account, so I had to listen a little bit more. Then you said cloud service, so when I put that in the search bar, AWS account online training, because we wanted to know what was the whole point of the information technologies part of it, because that was the important part, and all that was getting overshadowed because it was hard to find that in the video. There were no links or anything like that in the description, which I hope Bernard Riley and Obsidian, since I know you guys had a camera crew, I hope they're gonna do a good job and giving a different perspective than what we already saw. And I hope you guys have, links in the description ready to go, because people are ready to support. They are looking to support your endeavors. But when I pulled it up, I said, okay, so this is what AWS is in the whole course thing. So I guess you could go to these websites and you could request a demo, you could get started, you could buy the course, even though there was a way that you could get the course for free, which is why Theo Waf was there. He was given the course for free to teach these brothers a new way to get into information technology and improve their skills. So that was one thing that this meetup did accomplish. Theo Waf said he was able to do a couple of labs, educate a couple of brothers, which we all support, so there was some success in that way. But now we gotta talk about the logistics of the situation. And the reason we gotta talk about the logistics of the situation is because this is a learning experience for everybody, It's a learning experience for everybody. People want to know how much stuff costs, what's the budget look like, how much does it cost to rent out a hotel conference room for a day, a half a day, how much does the food cost, you gotta buy the decorations, sound design, how much it costs to get the sound stuff set up. If the hotel does it, how much does it cost? If you gotta hire a crew, how much that costs? Or if you gotta set it up yourself, what are the different equipment that you need to set it up? No, those are the people that everybody has, and this is why there hasn't been a real Black Manosphere convention where the big guys all come together, because we simply don't know the logistics and we just want to learn some of that stuff. And we're thankful that Theo went out there, he tried, had success, had a couple of failures, things he wants to do better, things he wants to duplicate going forward. And this is something we all could have learned. We could all went to the 21st convention, hooked up with the white manosphere, learn from the white man, how much things cost, how to set things up, logistics, this, that, and the third. So when we do it ourselves, instead of tricking off $35,000, we could better utilize that money and get more value for the dollars that we spent. But as you're about to hear from Theo, who came on the Reg the Bad Guy, he's going to break down everything he spent the money on and where he felt they failed at, things he would never do again. He said he felt like he was getting finessed when he was spending all that money. But we're going to break down what Theo said, because I was a little bit disappointed in the questions that were asked. We had AJC and Red coming up accusing Reg of being fake, phony, and calling them socially awkward, when all we trying to do is get the logistics of the setup, how much things cost, and also what was the whole point of this so-called meetup from the information and technology side. Those were questions that when I saw the playback weren't really asked. So we got 140 people watching. Maybe Theo is one of the people's watching. I'll drop the link so people could come up, and I'm hoping that Theo could come up here, because I got a lot of questions that could provide clarity for people who want to get involved or want to do something themselves, or just looking to learn different information. So with that said,
There's talking points. Some of your talking points on this space, it's not the same. Come on.
Thank you. I'm in Delta. I'm flying to Brazil, so I'm waiting for my flight right now.
This is the first time using Zoom, Theo?
Of course not. We use Zoom like crazy. I have my own account. But on this, for some reason, on this iPad, I haven't used Zoom. So I actually use it on my MacBook Pro.
Right.
So Theo, I want to ask you, how many people showed up to the meetup?
I think 80 or 90 around there, something like that.
Okay. So that's pretty good for the first time out, man.
yeah, for a first time turnout, having 80 to 9 people show up, I mean, that's probably more than you would expect if you would do a meetup. I mean, if I want to do a convention, I'm thinking of all the people that I want to do a convention for, the activities that I'm involved with. I'm thinking getting 50 people would be a win, but getting 80 or 90 people to show up, I mean, that's a big success that we gotta give Theo, Obsidian, and Little Big Nate credit for being able to fill up the room.
Yeah, it was pretty good. Unfortunately, a lot of people canceled like the day before. Well, that was an issue, but I mean, all in all, we had various problems and the internet didn't work in the conference room, and they were trying to charge us over $2,000 to have internet in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean there was no internet in the conference room and they were trying to charge you $2,000? I find that real interesting, because you could go to different stubs and buy you a Wi-Fi portal. You can maybe even use your cell phone as a Wi-Fi hotspot, but they were trying to charge your boy Theo only $2,000 for the internet. Theo, I know you got I know you got $2,000 for the internet. I mean, you driving a brand new McLaren 720S, you know, out there styling. You got a first class flight to Brazil, Theo. I know you could drop $2,000 for internet to have access to the World Wide Web during your conference, to bring a different dynamic to the 80 or 90 people to show. I'm so disappointed that your boy Theo didn't spend the $2,000 for something as simple and as important as the internet.
And I
That's why I said
told
what I
him to
said
go
about
below.
the room. That's why I said what I said about the room, because I noticed like whenever we do certain armed classes and we have to use internet, like they're like, oh, so you want to use the Wi-Fi or use certain type of servers? They start banging on you about that and start upping the price, and that shit can start getting very costly.
Yeah, so the next time that I do this, it'll be in Houston. I'll be actually sending out requirements for the conference, and I'll make hotels bid against each other. This will never happen again like that. I mean, I've been to Kiev. I was in Kiev in January. I'm going to Brazil now. I mean, I've lived in Russia. Like, not having internet isn't an option, and to have this kind of like, it was basically finesse as far as I was concerned. To have this kind of situation was really irritating to me. So totally intolerable. So that was this will not happen next time.
So you can see your boy, when it came to the different upsells that the hotel wanted to give him, your boy felt like he was being took. You know, he was getting treated like a hoe. You know, people wanted to cut into his bottom line. You know, they were trying to nickel and dime. And so now when he goes to Houston, instead of, you know, having one hotel be able to say what the price is and jack it up as high as they want, he's going to have different hotels bid against each other. Well, I think he means he's going to see which hotel is going to provide the best price for the best services, and he's going to go with that one, which is, I don't understand why he didn't do that in the first place, but this is what happens when you're a little bit green in the business. You know, you're doing something for the first time. You know, you didn't consult with the Black Manosphere, which I'm surprised that Obsidian, with all his connections, didn't reach out. I'm very disappointed in Obsidian. No, your boy Little Big Nate was right there. He lives out there in Atlanta. He was supposed to have the hometown discount, for Little Big Nate not to have the hometown discount. I mean, you gotta start looking at these brothers a different way, because you know you from Atlanta. You supposed to know where the best hotels with the best amenities is at for the best price. And it looks like somebody dropped the ball, but Theo said that'll never happen again.
I liked it. Like with success, I loved it. I'm glad brothers got together. I'm still regretting not going. Get my AWS account.
I was trying to push Brian to go for us, man, over this side, man. We gotta go, Brian. Come on, man.
Some of you guys I'll answer some of your questions you had. Some of you have asked, why not have one in California? Well, I lived in California for 4 years. I know how expensive it is. There's no way. And the event was originally started from the mix with Kevin Samuels.
Oh, stop the show. Stop. We can't have an event. We can't have an event in my home state because it's too expensive. I mean, this is the information technology hub. No, we got Facebook right down the street, Google down the street, Tesla down the street. We got GoPro down the street. We got Skydio down the street. We got all these different places. We got different connections. And maybe if you would network with some of the brothers, maybe they could find you that hometown discount. So instead of you ruling out the great state of California that it is because you think it's too expensive because maybe you feel your pockets ain't deep enough, maybe Reg the bad guy, maybe GMT or other dudes who know some heavy hitters or who are well connected, you could provide a list of what you want and we could reach out, you know, put a little meetup together, convention, and maybe have different other avenues attached to the convention. Maybe I could bring the auto industry into it. I got a couple of connections in the auto industry. I'm a referee. I could give you the referee connection. So if you need a gym, say you wanted to rent out a spot, you know, play some basketball with the guys and just show a different aspect. Get brothers to do something a little different, you know, add a little excitement, maybe do a little car rally. I mean, to just rule out states because you think the price is a little bit too high. You always gonna miss out on your opportunity, and you never know whose elbows or shoulders you will rub against by going to a different spot and paying the cost to be the boss. It's another thing black men got a problem with. They too goddamn cheap, you know. They don't want to spend the big bucks, the $2,000 for the internet, you know. They don't want to pay to go to this state, to go to this city, to go to this venue. Because it's a little bit expensive, you know. Black men feel as though they're being priced out of certain venues and certain places instead of coming together, putting your dollars together. Maybe this event was free. Maybe if there's a small little fee and $20, $100, $200, and we get 80, 100 people to show up. We get 200 people to show up. Now we got a little bit of extra money to pay for what we need to pay for. And we could really get shit popping. But it seems like brothers is a little bit scared and timid to break the bank on what's supposed to be their own business. We got a couple of cash apps coming in. We had May coming big on the 25. Yep, I'm definitely going to have to update it because May supported the show today as well as yesterday, and Ken came in 20 for letting me talk my ish in the chat. Thanks for those who are supporting. Then of course, if Theo had his own YouTube channel, you know, he could open up an additional income stream because people are looking to support different things. And if you could find you an audience, you could open up an income stream, sell some merchandise, get a monetized YouTube channel. You're traveling to Brazil, you could vlog your experience, and if you stay consistent, work hard of it, you could open up additional income stream that could help you pay for different venues. But brothers gotta learn to stop being scared to spend the big bucks. But let's go back to what your boy Theo said. We got UC says, I caught that too, GMT. He bragged about dropping $8K on his first class ticket to Brazil and other things he bragged about. But now California is too expensive. You see how it goes down. Oh, we are going to break down them first class flights to Brazil. We're going to break it all the way down.
And it was for those guys. So most of those guys are 30 years old and above anyway. So that's why I chose Atlanta, because it was a transit point for me to fly internationally. So I could easily go to Austin, to Atlanta, stay there, do the conference, and then fly to another country.
Yeah.
So that's why. And then there's so many red pill guys there anyway.
Stop the show right there. Stop the show. We gotta talk about this because I know what the Black Manosphere haters are gonna say, you know. Because you see just pointed out a good point right there. You know, we're buying first class tickets to Brazil. No, we got first class tickets to Medellin. We got first class tickets to that place. In fact, we are now going to hold our conventions in cities where we could fly internationally and get to these other places outside of the country where some made the argument. Now, I'm not saying this is true with Theo at all, but the haters and detractors are going to say the only reason he put this thing together in the city of Atlanta on this date, and the reason why he didn't spend the money on the things he needed to spend the money on is because he was too worried, too focused on going to Brazil and tricking off on dirty foots. That's what the haters are going to say. Even when black men do business, the first thing on their mind are dirty foot prostitutes in third world countries who they feel they could pay the minimal amount that they could get they freak on with. That's the argument that the Black Manosphere haters are going to say, whether if it's true or not, because they see O'Shea with the passports, you know. They see Obsidian talking about bringing O'Shea on board. Then O'Shea is with all these other traveling brothers, and when you go to their show, when they talk about traveling, what's getting communicated the most through interpretation of their videos is the women that they could trick on in these third world countries. And since you chose to align yourselves with them, if you're able to spend all this money going to third world countries, first class, $8,000 ticket, but you don't want to pay $2,000 for internet at the convention that you threw, people are going to look at that a little bit suspect, and the Grandmaster Troll cannot blame him. I can't blame him if the people connect those dots. But let's get back to this right here, because it was really interesting.
Because airport road is there, isn't like I think airport road and hotels are all conjoined right around the airport. Yeah, I know exactly where you're at. I know exactly where you're at. Mm-hmm.
So it was a very practical point of view. Now for Houston, this is more of a logistics issue because a lot of the like various problems that we had with like lighting and sound systems and things. Like I'm just gonna buy the equipment. Keep it in my house. So I'm in Austin. I could easily drive. I can bring it myself to Houston. So that's another reason why I chose Houston.
Oh, stop the show. See, stop the show right there. You see, this is the whole point of why we network with different brothers, you know, because you may not be able to bring your sound equipment, all your electronics, you know, to a couple of states over from Houston to Atlanta, but this is why you link up with different brothers across different states, because guys like Lil Big Nate who live in Atlanta, guys like Bernard Riley who live in Atlanta, this is where they are supposed to be filling in the gaps. And here we go again. We got dudes who you linking up with who supposed to be providing some kind of value. Bernard Riley, Lil Big Nate, and from the video clips that we saw, all we saw was a bunch of Negroes with fresh pair of jeans on, fresh hair coat, got the brand new suit and suit jacket on, but they not even bringing sound equipment, they're not even bringing lighting to these conventions to add to the quality of the product. I'm trying to figure out, didn't Bernard Riley move to a different studio to where he could, do lighting and bring his sound equipment to give a better show on YouTube? Why can't Bernard Riley bring that equipment, or maybe go to a different electronics store and rent out different lighting equipment, different sound equipment, and bring it to the convention? I mean, why aren't the brothers that Minister Jap, why aren't these brothers who live in that area? I know Minister Jap does it, but why is it Little Big Nate and Bernard Riley filling in the gaps to where things is being needed? I mean, I seen Bernard Riley when they were in the presidential suite. They were trying to set up lighting. They had what appeared to be Canon cameras or Nikon cameras on different tripods, trying to, I guess, do a different round table stuff. Why can't we have sound equipment rented? It don't cost that much to rent, and bring that to the convention. Just a thought. If you ask me, it's just a thought, but this is where BMs as a collective, when they put their noggins together and try to execute a plan, these are the shortfalls that we had trying to execute this plan.
Now, I was talking about why do you we was talking about this. I was wrong, brought it up. Was why do you have actually camera like up in the front, so when people were speaking, they can actually get a clear picture of them. But some of the the audio the video we got was kind of far off. They were using their phones and
Yeah, that's because
account.
we had various problems in this. We had, so let's just say, the suppliers tried to finesse me time and time again.
Oh.
And when they were doing this, I just told them to go blow. Like, I was not going to even entertain this. And this is a very Japanese approach. I lived in Japan a long time. And if you try to finesse a Japanese person, they'll tell you to go blow. So I didn't care. I was like, okay, if I can't get like audio recordings, if I can't get visuals the way I want, I don't care. I'm here to get the guys doing labs and getting interested in AWS, and I got them.
Wait a minute. You mean they were trying to finesse you from putting the camera on the tripod and just simply hitting the record button? You mean Theo, don't lie to me, Theo. Don't lie to me, Theo. You mean a dude who drives a McLaren? A dude who spends $8,000 on first class tickets to Brazil? Are you telling me you couldn't go to Amazon.com and buy you a Sony A6400? You couldn't go to Walmart and buy you a $15 tripod? You couldn't go to Walmart and get you a $60 SD card to put in the camera so you have a storage device, and you couldn't set up that camera front and center on the tripod, screw it in, open the legs of the tripod and hit record? Are you telling me you couldn't buy you a different lens? Say if you didn't want it front and center and maybe you want the camera in the back, so you put a nice zoom lens on your A6400 camera and get you something that's close to 2.7K at least. I mean, are you Theo, are you telling me you couldn't do at least the bare minimum and just set up cameras? I mean, you got all them dudes. You had 80, 90 people show up. Are you telling me you couldn't ask 2, 3 of those dudes to volunteer to record what was ever going on. Pay him a couple of dollars to record. You tell me Minister Jep and Bernard Riley and Little Big Nate wasn't available to have camera angle 1, camera angle 2, camera angle 3, where all they gotta do is hit the record button, and when the SD card fills up, all they gotta do is switch out the SD card. I mean, are you telling me, Theo, I'm looking at you right now. I mean, we talking $35,000+ you done spent. I'm looking at the production and I'm trying to figure out where the $35,000 went. You could have bought yourself three $800 cameras, 3 lenses, couple of tripods. You've been out the gate. You'd have been out the gate for this cameras alone, $3,000, and you would have had them for your next events going in Houston. You telling me you couldn't set that up? You telling me Bernard Riley, who goes live every morning, who's went through all these different cameras trying to get his autofocus set correctly, because whenever Bernard Riley go live and he look at the camera, he gotta squint and look at it because the autofocus is so bad. He can't even get the autofocus correct. You mean you couldn't even use one of Bernard Riley's cameras, all the cameras that he bought? You mean your boy Obsidian, who's in the city of Atlanta, couldn't borrow the camera that Kevin Samuels uses to do his live stream from? All Obsidian got to pick up the phone. Hey, I'm gonna be in Atlanta. We need some cameras. Do you have and you know how brothers are, Kevin. We're real cheap. Theo, he doesn't want to spend big money on videographers to come in and capture the whole event, but we do need some cameras. Can I meet you somewhere to meet the camera? And then I know you're shooting the movie. Then I'll give the camera to Little Big Nate or Bernard Riley, who also lives in the Atlanta, Georgia area, and he'll give you your camera back so you can continue doing your live streams at night. You mean we couldn't even do that as a collective for black men? Is this what we do in Rollo? Is this where our execution level is at, where we can't even get cameras to the venue to capture good quality stuff? Forget the lighting, forget the decorations. We can't even get cameras on tripods and get somebody to hit the red record button. This is where we are at, but I'm gonna let Theo explain how he felt he was getting finessed.
I'm here to get the guys doing labs and getting interested in AWS, and I got them to do 2 out of 7 labs. So I was like, okay.
2 out of 7 labs? I mean, we had 7 labs and all we could get is 2. I know there's probably trouble with the internet, this, that, and the third, but all we could get was 2 out of 7 labs done. Imagine going to the NBA, going to the free throw line. You get 7 free throws to win the championship. You shoot your 7 free throws and you only hit 2 out of 7. Let's make it sound a little bit better. You go to the 3-point line and you get 7 wide open 3-pointers throughout the game to win a championship. And all you can hit is 2? Hold on, let's make the percentage a little bit better. We go to baseball where hitting 300 is okay. You get 7 at-bats, you swing, and all you could successfully hit on is 2 out of 7. See, 2 out of 7 in GMT's book can't cut it. And this is why I did the live stream, titled it yesterday, why the meetup was an epic failure because I immediately was able to point out the flaws and the shortcomings where the meetup was at, and now we are hearing it from the money man himself about how they couldn't execute on some of the most important things that was going to make this event pop and build confidence going on into the future, into the next meetup that's supposed to happen in Houston. But let's break down what else was said.
I won.
Now Theo. All right, now Theo, I remember when you was talking about this on you was going over some of the stuff on X's channel, and when I started talking about it, I was looking at the expenditure because when you're doing a conference, these things start adding up on that, and now you already answered the question about how the equipment stuff happened. So did you answer that on like, hey, they were trying to fuck with my budget? Is there anything that you probably do differently now that you learned from this experience? Like, you know what I'm saying? But I know that's what you're looking at. Like, yo, it's better.
And another question too: did you go over budget? You can answer that after you answer the event.
Oh, I definitely went over budget. Yeah,
I knew it.
There was no way. So it hit maybe between $35,000 and $40,000. I don't know the final number. But it was a positive effect. So I just learned a lot about finessers in Atlanta. That's what the issue was. And I was like, okay, I understand it. So next time, like I said,
stop the show. Now we went over budget. No, we were originally in for $30,000, and now we're between anywhere from $35,000 to $40,000. I'm looking at the event, and I'm trying to figure out what this $35,000 could have possibly been spent on. I believe it was a 2-day event. So they had to rent out a conference room for 2 days. How much does it cost to rent out a conference room for 2 days? I want to say maybe $5,000 a day, and I think that's at the top end. So I'm going to say $5,000 to rent out the conference room. So that's $10K right there. Then you got food. I'm going to say with 80, 90 people, that may be another $5,000. So now we're at 15. 5, 10, 15. I'm trying to figure out what else did they use money on? To rent out the conference room for 2 days and food for 2 days. Maybe they had to pay for the tables and the stage. Okay. What? Another $2,000, so we're at $17,000. You even used the presidential suite, so I'm gonna throw in $2K for the presidential suite. We're at $19,000. But how? Somebody explain to me where the other $20,000 came from. I'm just doing the math. If I was to call up the Western and call them to see how much it costs to use a convention room for a day or a half a day, they would have their prices. I'm assuming 5. It could have been more, it could have been less, but I'm just trying to figure out where did all the money go? They didn't hire what appeared to be videographers. There wasn't photographers there. They didn't edit any videos and put them up yet. I'm just trying to figure out where did the money go, and I'm just lost at how did they spend $40,000 for this?
We're gonna have a few months to prepare, so I will be buying all the mixers, the monitors, everything, the entire system, everything I need for hardware. I'm gonna buy it myself.
Go to guitar. Go to guitar. Go to guitar. Shop. They usually have the mixers and all the stuff you need at a more reasonable price there if you're trying to get the stuff yourself.
It's not about price, it's about quality. Look, I spent that much money for free, right? And that's I mean, I don't want to boast, but that's still like 1 month of my disposable income. So I don't care. It's about delivery. It's about the experience and getting it done right. So as long as like
stop the show. If $40,000 is only 1 month of your disposable income, why not pay for the internet? Why not pay the high price to get a real quality production team to come film and edit it and put content on YouTube for it across different platforms? I mean, why not do it big? It's just a question I want to ask. Faith comes in 35. She says, "Keep showing them, bro." I mean, I'm just trying to figure out if only $40,000 is only 1 month of your disposable income. Why not just pay the cost to be the boss? As Kevin Kelly said, let's see if I can find the comment. Kevin Kelly says all the Negro had to say is that he was being frugal and didn't want to spend too much money. That's what it sounded like to me. Because the things that were expected to be seen, I just didn't see at the conference. But let's go ahead and play some more.
I can do it. I can do that. Yeah, I wasn't too pleased. So like the hotel tried to charge me over $8,000 for various like equipment rentals, and I told them to go blow. I said that's not going to happen. I mean, $8,000. That's almost like a first class ticket to Brazil. I know. I have a first class ticket to Brazil right now. So I was like, there's no way I'm going to do that. I go buy my own equipment for that.
So they didn't want to rent the equipment for $8,000. Now, $8,000 is a little steep, but there are other places, other electronic stores you could go online and you could rent equipment for a day at a much, much fairer price. You just got to have the know-how to do it. It looks like somebody didn't do the research. They didn't do the research when it came to electronics and equipment. And you gotta look at the YouTubers, you gotta look at the Obsidians, you gotta look at the little Big Nates, you gotta look at the Minister Japs, you gotta look at the Bernard Rileys, because all these dudes have a pretty quality in-home studio, and for them to not have a list or be able to go get the equipment needed at a moment's notice, knowing that they were coming months in advance, is a straight up failure and a big disappointment. That the reason that the space couldn't get the first meetup and have it done correctly is because we didn't want to spend $8,000 on equipment and nobody had access or brought said equipment, but we are on YouTube streaming all day in 4K. We got lights in the background. We got sound quality. We got sound effects going. We got megaphones. And it was time to bring all of that to Atlanta for a meetup. We flat out dropped the ball, wet the bed. We pissed down our leg. The moment was a little bit too big for us. And this is an L that the whole Black Manosphere has to wear, because it's evidently when DJ Kula goes through all the equipment that needs to be bought and paid for to have a good product, dudes are simply not listening, and now they're going out in the real world doing conventions and are doing stuff on the fly and trying to wing it. That's what it looks like to me. But let's get back to this right here.
Any questions, Joe?
So,
Brian?
I will answer some other things that you guys have been talking about. You're talking about, like, why don't you reach out to younger guys? Well, the manosphere typically tends to be guys who are above 30 because they've been screwed over. So remember,
you see how you see how your boy Theo throws your manosphere Negroes under the bus. Well, the reason I can't find young guys, most people in the manosphere, they're above the age of 30, and they also been screwed over. Now, he didn't say who y'all Negroes was screwed over by, but according to all these streams, there's a lot of, bitter baby daddies who were put on child support, and it seemed like your boy Theo Waf took a little low blow and tried to call some of your Negroes out. I don't know what he meant by some of you guys been screwed over. Maybe he will clarify that comment. Maybe somebody asked him.
we have to have the women recruit the blue pill guys and convert them into red pill. Then those are the guys we talk to, right? So I'm not going to say someone who's gynocentric that comes.
Oh, let's back that up.
Typically tends to be guys who are above 30 because they've been screwed over. So remember, we have to have the women recruit the blue pill guys and convert them into red pill. Then those are the guys we talk to, right?
you see how they just take shots, We need these women to find blue pill guys, screw them over, have their baby, put them on child support, take all their money through a divorce, and then they become red pill, and then we could target and use them, but that don't happen until they're after 30. So it's very hard to find young guys. You see how your boy Theo up there just throwing shots at the space after the Negroes that made him look bad, wasn't performing at an elite level. Now he gotta throw you Negroes up under the bus, man. The reason why we didn't have enough young guys in here, because there's not enough blue pill men who went through the ringer with a BW and turned red pill yet. So we just didn't have a lot of young guys to give our products to, because they're still in the blue pill world. We need more women, to violate these guys, have their kid, 4 or 5 different baby daddies, put them on child support, have them move into their house, disrespect them, emasculate them, kick them out, and then they turn red pill, and that just hasn't happened yet with the young guys yet.
Right? So I'm not going to say someone who's gynocentric to come to my course or something like that, because I'm only focusing on manosphere guys. Now, to be honest, the 20-year-old who came, like, his mother called me the day before, and he says, please allow my son to go. And I was like, okay, well, I'll be respectful. However, where's the man in his life, and why didn't he call?
You see how they use manosphere talking points to discriminate from helping BMC. Theo is only focused on red pill raging manosphere maniac men to bring on into his IT course. But you got a lot of dudes who haven't been exposed to the red pill, being, in this case, raised by a single mother. Instead of Theo just helping out the brother just off the strength of him being a black man trying to do better in life, Theo is going to make the black single mother jump through all these different hoops just to get a black man some help. Let's go back and listen to the end of this right here.
And then she understood. Like I was like, I'm not joking. This is a manosphere. I'm not, you know what kind of area you're in right now. I'm not playing with you. And she said, yeah, there's a male in his life, and he has a mentor, and this is his phone number, and he'll call you himself. I said, okay, good. All right. So that's what he did. He called me himself. And that's what I was like, that's the right frame. If you're not going to do it yourself, then I don't have need for you. And so I told the mother, good job. They did the right thing, and he did really well. I really liked him. So younger guys will go in there, but later on. Now, regarding other areas, like for example,
see that's crazy right there. They done made a black single mother have to go through all these hoops just to get her son some information in regards to IT technology. Ain't that something? We got hold on, what's my model? What is my model? Only you can prevent single mothers. See, this is why we gotta stop the single mother epidemic, because there's a lot of dudes like Theo Waf. They simply don't want to be involved with your son. They don't want your son to get any knowledge, simply because he's being raised in a single mother household. Now, you as a single mother who's working 2 to 3 jobs to pay the bills, you gotta find your son a mentor. These dudes already don't want to be mentors, but you gotta find one of these black mentors to call up Theo, and that black mentor has to get the cosign from Theo so that your son, who needs stability, who needs leadership, mentorship, and something tangible he could do to be a productive member of society. This is all the hurdles you gotta go through, instead of this showing up ready to learn to give his best. This is why on Black History Month, Grant Cardone has to come down to the black youth, because it appears that BMs, they don't want to mentor, they don't want to lead, they don't want to build, they don't want to help out, they don't want to do this, that, and the third. So now Uncle G and Grant Cardone gotta come to the hood on Black History Month, because BMs who have the know-how, who have the money behind them, who are flying first class $8,000 tickets to Brazil, they're putting all these stipulations and hurdles from helping out the community. And when I pointed this out yesterday, there were guys like AC Star talking about how I love the white man, how I was using my own people for clicks, likes, and views. People in the chat talking about a white savior. Well, this is why you need that white savior, because the BMs who have the know-how simply don't want to mentor young men who are being raised in single mother households. What if that single mother didn't have a male mentor for her son? Does that really mean the son should not go and get an education on the field that could possibly change his life and make him a productive member of society? If you ask me, it seems a little hard. It seems a little harsh to me, but I'm gonna let your boy Theo explain it better than what I can.
Example, blue collar work, real estate, things like this. The reason why, again, think about how I did this from the beginning. It was supposed to be a seminar where I taught people how I do my job or how I do my career. And I can teach people in my area. So I'm footing the bill for this. So then the marginal cost for me to have the Black Manosphere meetup, which was Little Big Nate's thing on Friday, the marginal cost is very low. It's only $1,500 or $1,000 for me to do that. So the way I look at it is I'm teaching my IT course, and then if I can pay a little bit extra and expand it, sure, but I give that to other people, and it's their responsibility to deliver content in that area. So I didn't have, regarding blue collar, nobody was really talking blue collar. And I am considering, people have talked to me about this now, what about blue collar? Well, it'd have to be vetted the same way that I have for my IT course, which is I'm delivering, I'm not having any hidden fees, I'm not trying to increase my pocketbook, I'm not finessing you. There has to be a very strong anti-finesse policy in place, or else it's just another person who's bamboozling people, right? So that's got to go. Regarding my weight, yes, of course, I know that's a problem. I'm working on it.
That's all of us. That's all of us.
Yeah,
Trust
but
me.
I thought about it and I was like, well, could I just keep on waiting and just lose? I'm losing weight right now. So it's like, why don't I just wait until I get it all done? I was like, no, man, take the bullet. You got to think about the students. If their lives are being changed, go for it. And then while I'm teaching them, do some squats, follow my personal trainer, follow my nutritionist, keep on doing intermittent fasting, which I've been doing, get rid of this.
You see, we as BMs are all over the place. We done went from, are we going to help out sons of single mothers? Do I have a blue collar speaker? Now we talking about weight loss programs and eating healthy. You see, we are so much all over the place. And the thing about it is, you got all these people in this space who do weight loss. Now, you could have reached out to Steph is Cole. I'm pretty sure he know people. You got Khalid Muscle, even though he just had a stroke. But there's different people in Black YouTube who have ties to the Manosphere that could have did that. You had even Mr. Blue Collar himself, Obsidian, who was your keynote speaker. He could have talked about blue collar work. Though he's retired from his blue collar days, collecting a nice little check, pension check, doing YouTube on the side. He could have got into that, but he'd rather talk about, black female fuckery. You got little Big Nate, trucker, blue job worker. He could have fit that bill, but he would rather, show videos of what Negroes is wearing and how the Dusties are eating, top level lunches at the Manosphere meetup, really not providing any value that we have been shown so far. I'm pretty sure there'll be more content, but what was shown now, let me see if I could go back and show you what your boy Little Big Nate was up to. Let's see if I can pull it up. Because we out here supposed to be changing lives. And this is your boy this is what your boy Little Big Nate is doing right here. Let me see if I can make this a little bit bigger. We got Dusty's broadcasting from the presidential suite. So they showing off the presidential suite. We got more incredibly clean dust. We got black men in suits. We got Dusties at lunch for dinner. We got lunch for the Dusties. So we got Little Big Nate, more focus. Your boy Little Big Nate at the Manosphere meetup, more focus on the Cynthia G trademark slogan for Dusties, more worried about the pink pill sector, the devicement sector, because I guess they call black male Dusties, and your boy Little Big Nate is more focused on trolling Cynthia G in the pink pill and the divestment community instead of putting out content that's going to show the empowerment of black males in the Black Manosphere through this meetup. You see where Negroes is, where their minds is focused at? They focus on all the wrong things, and since they focus on all the wrong things, we don't have sound quality, we don't have production quality, we don't have the right equipment there because we are focused on making a point to Cynthia G. We want to show Cynthia G that BMs aren't dusty, that BMs can dress and look good, that BMs do have money to spend at the presidential suite, that Dusties ain't broke. This is what BMs are focused on. They are focused on gender warring instead of, as Obsidian laid out on his keynote speech, being legitimate competitors to Google and Facebook. But this is why GMT wasn't invited, because if GMT wasn't invited, he would have had the cameras there. They would have been able to stream and go live. They would have been able to find different equipment, but they didn't reach out to your boy GMT. So since they didn't reach out to your boy, they ended up putting this out here on YouTube for the whole world to see. Coming up short yet again. Trying to troll Cynthia G through the Black Manosphere meetup. What more needs to be said? I guess I'll play a little bit more before I drop the link.
Stress. Work on that. So, yeah.
But
that's
Theo,
what
no matter what, Theo, you could be the perfect person. They're going to criticize you no matter what. Yeah. AJ want me to ask, why were they calling you an incel? But you probably don't give a fuck about that. Your bank account ain't incelish.
So. I can get some when I want. I'm not worried.
I'm glad that Brian Triple X said that, because you know people talking about people are gonna hate, people are gonna criticize, but the thing about it, I bet you Theo has got more criticisms for himself and things that he wants to prove on than me, than Task Exclusives, or a D Derail, or a Cynthia G. I'm pretty sure Theo's a pretty successful guy. He's been his own biggest criticizer, and criticism only makes you better, and we as humans, we always strive for perfection. So your boy Theo, he can embrace the hate. You know, people calling him socially awkward, calling him overweight. That don't mean nothing, because he already know, like he said, he's on his own weight loss program. He already tried to put in the work. He don't need the GMT to tell him that he need to stop eating fat burgers, because he's already been stopped eating fat burgers. People are going to criticize whatnot, but it's giving him different ideas he can use. It's getting eyeballs on his platform, which he could do business on. And if he could execute, he may be able to pull through. But I went ahead and dropped the link in the chat, so if people want to come on, they could come on. They could tell me their thoughts on the Black Manosphere meetup. Let's go back and play it some more.
Exactly. If they said that to me, I'm like, am I listening to you? I mean, are you in my lounge right now? This is for first class. Are you here? You're not here. I'm the only black guy in here right now. So, I mean, who are you? I'm not going to listen to that.
Do they still give you slippers in first class? They still give you slippers in first class.
they give you the entire bottle of champagne.
See, this is what we talk about. Too many black men. They worried about being the only black man in first class, you know, only black person in first class with the slippers on, drinking the champagne bottle, going to Brazil to, trek off on some dirty foots allegedly, while also trying to do business on the side and looking at the different places to visit, the different tourism spots to visit in these third world countries. Too many black men want to be the only black man that has risen up here, and they not focused on bringing other brothers with them. But they constantly on YouTube talking about the ills of the community and what black folks need to be doing. This is what we you done heard it from the man's mouth himself when he on that flight to first class to Brazil. He the only black male riding first class, and he take pride in that. He take pride in flying first class on the airport. He takes pride in that. Let's get back to it. Oh, looks like somebody wanted to join the show. Let's see, who do we have that wants to join the show? We got Trinity Time Travels in the building. How you doing, Trinity? Tell me what's on your mind.
Less than highly flavored. You really just pulled the veil back on this one. I mean, ultimately, we've all known this, okay, about these guys. We all know that they were just basically projecting onto black women their own faults and their own failures. And slowly but surely, it might have took a couple of years, but slowly but surely, they are proving basically that they are the black women that they are complaining about. Think about it. They're always talking about single mothers, but they're all are single fathers. They're all, these men are running around here making these fatherless children, and they just don't want to take responsibility. What do? They run around here talking about women being too old and they've aged out of the dating pool, but all of them are aging out of the dating pool. That is exactly why they're hating on young men. That's why they don't necessarily want to network with the younger men, because they know the younger men are going to be upwardly mobile, and that's their competition. So they are basically trying to, send these men off to terrorize the young women. So the young women be so disgusted and so afraid they run into their arms, okay? And they have to put up with old ass, beer gut, fat ass, bitter men who have multiple divorces. Let's stop saying they've been married multiple times. Let's call it what it is. They have multiple divorces, okay? And really, and think about it. What about this weight thing? Okay, don't they have weight requirements for the women that they date? Okay, and then these motherfuckers are running around fat as fucking hell. They can't even see their own dicks. Everything that they complain about black women hitting the wall for, they have hit the wall double time, triple time. They don't want to accept it. Okay, at the end of the day, they don't qualify. That's why they're doing everything to basically set up here and collect their little coins. Okay, now some of these older guys are looking good and they do got their money up. Now that doesn't go, that's not, I'm not saying anything about their misogynistic views, but a lot of these dudes that be talking shit don't need to be talking shit because they're fat, they're ugly, just got a little bit of change. And I'm be honest with you, after 35 and 40, you should have your paper up. I mean, you've had a lot of time to get your paper up. That's not the, listen, if you are over 35, you should not be bragging about being financially stable. That's that's basic adulting. You're supposed to be financially stable. Now, if you're like one of these young fly ass niggas out here, you got you walking around here letting your nuts hang, you got your money up, you looking good, you getting bitches. Okay, that's something to brag about because you're supposed to be struggling in your 20s. Okay, you're not supposed to be bragging like you got these old ass niggas 60 years old talking about still bragging about their military years. Bruh, it's over. Okay, we get it. You're 60. You're supposed to be retired. Old ass nigga. That's the circle of life. So we gotta stop listening to these niggas congratulate themselves about basic adulting. This shit is just not right. Okay, niggas out here showing their car keys. Okay, you're supposed to have a car if you want to get around, nigga. So I'm done.
Okay, we got the village arsonist in the building. Tell me your thoughts on the Black Manosphere meetup, everything that transpired, the hate. Tell me what you liked about it, what could have been better. Just give me what's on your mind, village arsonist.
Shout out to Theo. What's up, GMT? Shout out to Theo, man. I'm just sitting back laughing at all the haters, man. I'm laughing at all the haters, man. I'm just checking out all the channels and all the videos and the comments and shit like that. You know, bottom line is, all the haters can say what they want. You can call these brothers what you want, this and that. Bottom line is they got it done. I would like to know, when is the TMHC offline meetup? Since everybody's talking shit. I'm just saying, shout out to G Dizzle, Chocolate talking shit. And G Dizzle puts in a lot of work for black men, but he ain't done no offline. Are any of you motherfuckers talking shit about these brothers planning on going in your pockets and putting together an offline meetup? Because we got all these suggestions about how the money should have been spent, sound systems and locations and all. I mean, all these suggestions and shit, all this pocket watching. So I'm assuming that there are some plans in the works to big up these guys, right? All these haters, y'all are gonna show these brothers how to really put together a convention, right? Right?
Trinity Time Travelers, do you plan on putting on a convention?
I mean, GMT, you in the loop. Have you heard any plans from any of these haters? Is anybody else planning on doing something? Because only in the nigga community can people sitting on their ass, ain't made a move, talk shit about people that have. I don't give a fuck what criticism motherfuckers have. Bottom line is, they got it done. Period. They got it done. And on top of that, any of the haters, do you have 35 stacks to just throw on a convention and you ain't sweating? You ain't hurting? You ain't about to lose your house? You ain't worried about your car getting repo? How many of you fucking losers talking about this nigga's weight, talking about this man being socially awkward or whatever, blah, blah, blah. Do you have 35 stacks? Most of the niggas talking shit ain't got 5 stacks in their bank account, bro. Stop playing. Stop playing. You niggas sound like smooth haters. All of you niggas sound like smooth fucking haters, bro. I gotta be real. And like I said, if you got all this criticism, what are your plans to do something better? I'm looking forward to the TMHC Young Black Women's Conference, right? To go out here and mentor young black women, right? To talk to young black women about STDs and single mother pregnancy and getting knocked up by thugs and shit like that. I want to know when the TMHC offline meetup is going to be. Since you bitches have so much mouth and so much to motherfucking say, what have you black bitches done for black women? What have you done? I'm tired of all this talking. You know what these brothers did? They stopped talking and they got it done. Period. How y'all hating on that? Only niggas will hate on that, bro. That's pretty much all I needed to say, man. I support it. I wasn't able to make it, even though I live in Atlanta. I was on the West Coast when it happened. I was in fucking Arizona, man. I was on the West Coast, so I was unfortunately unable to make it. But salute to those brothers, man. Shout out to Lil Big Nate. Now, one thing I gotta say something about Lil Big Nate, brother. I love you, man. Salute you, but look at all that threatening shit. We're gonna have to cut that shit. Brother, you can't be threatening motherfuckers and you popping up and you about 5'6", 5'7", Little Big Nate. All that threatening to cut niggas' throats and shit. We gonna need you, Little Big Nate, we gonna need you to stop that bullshit. But other than that, man, like I said, shout out to Theo. Theo put his money where his mouth is, man. A lot of niggas talk all this shit about helping black men. That man put 35 stacks on the line. That man put up 35 stacks to put together a convention, to get black men together, to talk to black men, to network, to teach each other something, to get to know one another. What's the problem with that? How are you niggas hating on that? There was no fighting, no shootouts. I mean, what are you niggas complaining about? It wasn't live enough? That's what it sounds like to me. Niggas are whining because it wasn't niggered up enough. I guess they should have had some liquor. I guess they should have had weed all over the place. I guess they should have had big booty bitches all over the place and shit. then niggas would have been complaining about how these niggas are simps and how they focused on pussy. Had they had a bunch of bitches there. So it's like, niggas, certain people are just gonna find something to complain about. You just hate the manosphere. You just hate the idea of black men coming together doing something productive in general. And it's fuck you. Because they got it done anyway. And like I said, all of you haters, what's your plan? All of you motherfuckers with all these suggestions or what they coulda, woulda, shoulda done, where's your convention? What are the plans for your convention? Let me know, because I'd like to pop in. I'd like to support financially. You know what I'm saying? TMHC, when that Young Black Women's Conference is put together finally, bitch, I will put some money up for it. Absolutely, I'll support that. But I'm going to need you haters, I'm going to need you guys to move like these brothers move. Because until you do, shut the fuck up. You sound really fucking stupid as niggas sitting on the internet, ain't done shit offline for black people at all. But you want to criticize and talk shit about these brothers that stop talking and they walk the walk. Only in the nigga community can the talkers talk shit about the walkers. It's amazing.
Are you done?
I think he is. He went on mute.
Okay, good. So, now it must feel really nice when you can talk and get your point across without anyone interrupting you, because when you interrupt,
you didn't have shit to say, Trinity. You didn't have shit to respond with. That's why you kept the fuck shut. You kept your mouth shut because you didn't have shit to respond with. You know I'm telling the truth, bitch. And you've never been in the same room as a man that had 35 stacks to just drop on a convention for niggas to fly down and meet each other. Like I mean, what are you bitches talking? Bitches in the tent right now. You've never even been with a man with that kind of money. How you talking shit? You got bitches in the tent too ugly to attract a man with that kind of money. What are you bitches talking about?
Let me say it.
I mean, only in the nigga community can broke ass loser fuck niggas talk shit about a man that's got 35 stacks to just drop on a convention.
Hold on, Bill. She's trying to respond to you. Give her a chance to respond.
Thank you. Okay. When I came up here, I actually didn't say anything about the conference. Okay? I did not mention the conference once. What I said was, I referred to the men with their talking points in general. It had nothing to do with the conference. I just made a clear observation that most of these men with these talking points against black women are the very same. They are suffering from the very same thing that they complain that the black women are suffering from. Okay, obesity, single parenthood, all right, and everything else. Basically, I said, it seems like these men are the black women that they are complaining about. I said nothing about that conference because I don't care about the conference, nor am I pocket watching anybody. All I said is that these men out here trying to act as though basic adulting is something to be congratulating, i.e., having a high FICO score, having good credit, okay, having a car, home ownership, things like that, being retired. This is called the circle of life. It's not anything to brag about. You are an adult. This is your job to be a productive adult. That's how we build families. That's how we build healthy, functional communities. Bragging about being a functional adult is not anything to be congratulated about. Do something extraordinary, and then you'll get a hoop and a hop. Otherwise, I'm not going to have a parade for people who are basic adults out here. That's okay. There's a big difference. So, listening with comprehension is important. And I understand it's hard to listen with comprehension when all you're doing is running what you heard. That's why I said
this is why I was talking over it, because her mic is kind of fucked up.
Or an argument. Over talking people will not improve your argument. I sat there patiently and listened to you rant and rage. That's fine. That's your thing. I'm not judging, bro. But at the end of the day, just because you called me a bitch, you call me out my name, you're insulting me, or you overtalk me, or you scream at me, that does not improve your argument. And that's why most of the time you cannot sit down comfortably and listen to what someone has to say without getting your panties in a bunch. At the end of the day, I was not pocket watching, nor did I have anything to say about conference because I don't care about the conference. I care about the talking points that they've been spewing over for years about this black. And it seems to me that they're only projecting a lot of the things that they complain about over there in those spaces are the same things that they're doing in this earth. But they refuse to look at it that way. They refuse to acknowledge it.
village
That's
arsonist,
all.
village arsonist.
Now I'm done, and I'm going to let whoever else wants to speak without interrupting them.
Okay, I'm up here.
Go ahead, Chaos.
BMT. All right. You know, it's interesting because these men did establish this from Theo Waf and Lil Big Nate, which he was a man for the last, I think, this year, talking about establishing this because a lot of these men have been doing a lot of talking, correct, GMT?
Mm-hmm.
About black men should come here and have this congregate on something. Um, I give him credit for that. You get me? Now, how the outcome it looks, I don't really focus on that, and the reason why is because at least this is a start, a foot in the direction. Now, I'm not sure how this is going to look next year. If it looks the same and it operates the same like it was like last year, then it's something to really maybe to talk about, possibly. You get me?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna make no judgment after just one little simple meetup. That's nonsense. I don't do them shits. Just like if a woman established a meetup talking about black men and then it comes out the same way like these dudes doing. You get me? I don't waste time. You get me?
Mm-hmm.
So when I hear a lot of content creators talking about it, say it looks the quality of videos is bad, and this you must understand. Majority of those people that they put on video, some still we don't know today, known that went up there much to see if these are content creators. Besides the few people that we know already that show their face, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And they said they had like a lot of people up there, which I don't know if I could say is a lie or not because I didn't go up there. Now I'm not gonna be prejudging that because that's nonsense. So when I'm at with niggas today, I stay neutral to movements that they're doing. If I'm not participating, I'm not considered criticized anything that I put my money into it. Most of said I was gonna go up there and myself and support. I don't do that shit. And the reason why because it's nonsense. It's nigger shit. And you're not gonna hear me try to say, "Oh, this shit look like shit." I'm never gonna do that because that's stupid. Because I as a man, I gotta do what I have to do being productive. You know what I'm saying? Now I was offered to come up there. I couldn't go and attend there because I have my own things to deal with right now. So I can't attend much meetings right now. You get me? From any content creator. So I tell people many times, good luck. I hope it's good and successful, and you attain and accomplish something throughout the meeting. You get me?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna be the person that's to say, "Oh, look at this. These niggas look raggedy." Where's the guest? Oh, I don't do that shit. That's stupid. As a man, I don't waste time with that shit. All my focus, and I told a city in this, and the city has been talking about it. Say, when a black man gonna do something besides sit on fuck YouTube and rant? Cause that's not accomplishing shit. It's gonna come to a point you come there, you create a plan strategy of how you want to move forward, whether it's political or move forward with the channels or something much bigger.
Let me ask you this question, Chaos Rain, because you were good and you like what was accomplished. But if a content
it's a foot in a step in direction of a direction, a good direction right now.
So if a content creator likes Lil Big Nate uploads different clips of the conference and the title of the videos is Dusty's getting lunch, Dusty's at the Black Manosphere meetup. This is how the Dusties are dressed. Can you tell me who those videos are being directed at and marketed to? And if they are being directed and marketed at a certain demographic or a number of demographics, is it not fair for those demographics to respond in the way in which they have responded?
That's an excellent question. Well, you know how the ego is with a lot of us people, especially us men. You know what I'm saying? They're trying to show and prove that they doing something. But you know, when you do these things, you're always going to get some pushback, especially when you use the term dusty. They're going to say, "Oh, you're still fucking dusty. Look at your raggedy suit. Where's your suit? You look fat. Oh my God, you are definitely dusty. Look at the quality." Doesn't matter. They're going to talk regardless, GMT. That's how we are. We don't want no one saying things just to pose a point. We're gonna push back. We're gonna talk shit with each other. You know this, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know this. That's nothing new with niggas. I'm sorry. If a woman did the same thing to the men, what do you think we men were gonna do? We're gonna push back, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's natural. We're gonna say talk shit with each other. That's not gonna leave or go amongst us anytime soon. So that's the answer to your question.
Okay, we got Jalen the man on. He's been waiting. What's on your
Yeah,
mind, Jalen?
about the topic. Yeah, bros just should come together as black men, just investing into something. Am I right, Grandmaster Troll?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we should come together as a black man, and within the Black Manosphere. I'm just proving facts.
Well, let me ask you this. Let me ask you this question, Jalen, because
Go ahead.
they asked Theo about why weren't young people there. I believe you're in your 20s. You're a young person. And you've been in the manosphere for a number of years. Why weren't you connected? Why wasn't you communicated? Why wasn't you invited to the meetup? Or why didn't you go to the meetup so you could learn the information in regards to the ITT Tech course training?
I'm in Tennessee, but they ain't invited me. I just saw one little bit Nate's video and the other dude's videos.
If
I
you,
could
No,
go.
no one was invited. You had to send an email and put in a reservation and tell them you wanted to come. No one was invited. Unless you were like a Minister Jant maybe, or something like a big channel or something like that. But the average person, no, there were no invites. You had to sign up. So
Yeah, it's only a private type event. You can't just go in there boom rush. You know.
right. So there was no. Oh, we're only gonna invite certain guys over a certain age and leave out the young guys. That's not what the fuck happened. That's
Hell,
not
a
what happened.
visual arsonist. Hell, Jonathan Barreville went up there, and the man and this young black man, they got money.
Right. So there was no mission to leave out the young black man. Let's kill that bear. What else y'all got?
so I
What
got
else
it.
y'all
I
got?
saw.
I'm surprised nobody's claimed it was a gay meetup or something. I'm waiting on that rumor. Like, I mean, I'm serious. I mean, it's like,
What the
what else you got, man?
fuck?
You know, I mean, come on, man. Were they messing with little kids up there or something? Was it a satanic ritual, meeting or something? I mean, I'm just waiting on more rumors. What else we got, man?
Well,
Because anytime black men try to come together and do something, it's niggas trying to tear it down, man. I have not seen a single white person say anything about this meeting. It's all niggas. It's all niggas. And what did these brothers do
That's
wrong?
true, Village Artist.
What
That's
did they
true.
do wrong?
this is the problem, Village Arsonist. When we talk about business, which this was supposed to be, and people wanting to come, there was an impression that you had to be invited. So, but you didn't. That wasn't necessarily true. You would have to email them, but those emails wasn't made viable to the people like Jalen who would have maybe sent an email if he wanted to go down and partake in the upliftment of black men.
Jalen, did you send an email?
I ain't get no email. I just checked on my Gmails.
Did you send an email asking to come to the ministry meetup?
I don't remember, man. I don't even know the Village Artist. I check every email every day. I ain't got no email. Sorry.
Right. And if you guys look at the video that the trailer for the meetup that Obsidian put up, he very specifically said, send an email to either Lil Big Nate or Theo Waf if you would like to attend. It was not by invite. Can anybody show me video? Anybody saying that this was by invite? I haven't heard a single person associated with the meetup saying that it was by invite. All I've heard was you got to send an email to sign up to go. So how are people saying that certain men were excluded or certain ages were excluded? Like, how is that the narrative? No, it wasn't even by invite. Do we have like a bunch of young guys that asked to go and they were denied? I mean, why are we saying this? This is what I'm talking about.
On the Reg the Bad Guys panel, there were some people who did get an email about the meetup. and we're basically invited to
Did
go.
Reg gone? Did Reg went up there?
No, Reg didn't go.
Oh, I was surprised. I don't know if a man he has time to even go up there. To be honest, from California to Atlanta, I don't see a man like him going up there. To be honest with you.
Yeah, that's not right, Village Arsonist. They did send out invites to people.
Okay, but it was not solely by invite, because I know I'm not hearing shit. I know that in the trailer it specifically said send an email to no. The meetup was not specifically for they may have I just said they may have sent some invites to like larger channels or whatever like that, but all in all the meetup in and of itself was not strictly invite only. That's fact.
You're wrong. He did not just send invites to specific people. I received an invite. I don't have a channel.
The meetup in and of itself was not strictly invite only. Some people may have gotten invites, but the meetup was not specifically invite only. Is that what you're saying?
That's not what you said. No.
GMT, you can go. I'm sure the video is still on the Obsidian's page. Go play the video. Go play the trailer for the meetup. He specifically said, contact so-and-so if you would like to come. So how is that invite only? If it's invite only, why am I giving you emails to? Why is he passing out emails and contact information for people that want to attend if it's invite only? That doesn't make any sense.
Let's this thing out completely because I think you're just yelling. So one, they sent out.
I'm not yelling. I'm not yelling. My volume may be loud. I'm not yelling. I'm in a truck.
So the thing is that they sent out invites to people specifically. That's one thing. It wasn't just big panelists, people who have large channels. Two, even if you did send an email, you went through. Let me finish. Let me finish.
So they sent invites to people with like 500 subscribers?
Let me finish. I don't have 500 subscribers.
He's not a content creator, Gabe. I'm Liz, let me hear him. I'm Gabe. Go ahead, Gabe.
Two, for people who sent emails, they had a vetting process. So just because you sent an email to be invited does not mean that you would be allowed to come to the event or approved to come to the event. The vetting process was through Theo Waf. He was doing all of that vetting. So no, this is not like.
And do you have any proof that it had anything to do with age?
Yo, like dog, like.
Did it have anything to do with age?
I'm talking, dog. Like, shut up while I'm talking.
Did the vetting have anything to do with age? That's the fucking question.
Do you like people interrupting you when you're talking? No. Well, let me finish.
Dude, you're not making a fucking point. You're not even talking about what we were talking about.
Every time I
the claim was he was excluding younger guys. That's not what happened.
Every time I start talking, you start. Are you gonna let me finish? That's the question. Are you gonna let me finish without interrupting? I'm asking.
Nigga, say what the fuck you need to say, bro. You got up here and you were wrong. You're saying that I was wrong. I never said it was.
Hold on, Village.
I said some channels got in.
Hold on, Village.
I appreciate the time, but I don't think I'm gonna.
Fuck is this nigga
talking
about, bro?
I don't want to drop you, Village.
All right, it's all good. It's all good. I'm gonna drop down.
No, go ahead, Gabe. Go ahead. I'm gonna drop Village in the back. Go ahead and say what you gotta say.
All I'm saying is that it wasn't specifically an open event. People had to go through a vetting process in order to get in there. So no, this wasn't something that was like, hey, anybody can come, young, old, or anything. It was pretty much a closed event based upon the vetting process of those who were the organizers. That's all I want to say.
Okay, Gabe.
And on that note, I'll drop down and let him continue to yell. Y'all have a good day.
All right.
Okay, so the nigga jumped up here and made absolutely no fucking point. What the fuck was his point?
His point was.
I don't understand.
His point.
Yeah, the point you guys were trying to make was that younger men were being excluded. I said, no, that's not the case. We gave examples of younger guys being there. Them motherfuckers were saying, well, it's invite only. So they were specifically only targeting guys of a certain age. No, that's not the fucking case. The fucking trailer for the meetup said, contact Lil Big Nate or Theo Waf if you would like to attend. Does that sound like something that's invite only to you? Now, yes, there's a vetting process. They never said, if you email us, you can go. They never said that. But it was not exclusive to the point to where it was invite only. That's the only point I'm trying to make. This nigga jumps up here and says I was wrong. How? Because a few people got invites? I said that. A few people would get invites. but it was not invite only. That's my point. So no, younger guys were not being excluded.
I mean, in my opinion, you guys most made good points, and we got to where the truth was. There were some people who got invited. There were some people who had to go and send an email and go through the vetting process to go.
Okay, so how was the narrative that these guys were somehow excluding younger guys, and then you got up here and said they didn't want to teach the younger guys, they don't want to give the younger guys any information? How are we making those claims?
Well, I made that claim because Theo said there was a young guy who came whose mother contacted Theo, and Theo made the mother go through these different hurdles. I believe one in getting a male mentor to call and speak on behalf
GMT,
of the
just,
young
I
girl.
don't mean, but GMT, if a 20-something-year-old man's mom fucking calls you asking if her son can attend, wouldn't you ask some questions about this dude? Like, what, nigga, why is your mother calling? You see what I'm saying? I mean, really, like, come on, I'm gonna ask some questions. Like, man, your son is how old? 20 something? He couldn't call himself. And Theo even said that in that clip. I need him to call me himself. This is a manosphere meetup. These are men. We don't need motherfuckers coming up here and mommy needs to call and schedule your appointment for you, nigga. Call your damn self. What's wrong with that? I don't understand. Like, what's wrong with that? I would have done the same shit.
I mean, you do make a point, but let's say if a mother is a viewer of Manosphere content and she's is contacting Theo on behalf of her son who may be involved in tech or wanted to get involved in tech, why would that be a problem or a stain on the 20-year-old black man?
Okay, so you're wanting your son to show up to a convention that's about masculinity and manhood, and you're going to call for him to schedule his appearance.
Yeah, to call.
Does that make sense? That doesn't make. You see what I'm saying? That doesn't make any sense at all. If you're okay, let's say your situation is what happened. You're a female. You like the manosphere content, right? Okay, so you know what we talk about over here. We talk about being masculine, right? But what the hell is masculine about your mommy calling to ask if you can come to a damn convention? If I'm a female and I have a son and I watch manosphere content, I should know right off the bat this is the kind of group to where my son will need to show that he's masculine. He's gonna need to call himself. He's gonna need to introduce himself. He's the one going. Why the fuck is the mom calling if she's not gonna show up unless the bitch planned on coming with him, which is a whole nother fucking problem. But I mean, I don't understand how Theo is wrong for vetting this guy. Vetting people, period. You gotta know that you just can't have random niggas coming up to a goddamn event. You know that.
Yeah, I understand it, but the second part is that Theo directed the mother to have another male mentor, not the son, but another male mentor to reach out to him to co-sign for her son.
Well, again, if he wasn't man enough to come himself initially, I mean, I don't know the situation behind that, but dude just seems weird to me. Why is your mom calling for you? Like, I don't get that, but you know, whatever.
All right, can I say something?
You think of, I'm speaking for a second. If you think about it, I mean, teenagers and young adults have their parents, their guardians, call for them ahead of time in a lot of scenarios, such as when men are going to the military. A lot of the times, their mothers and their fathers, whoever is the guardian, the responsible guardian, or who has the time allowed it to go with the person to the recruiting office. You know, their young adults are gonna have their parents with them, even when, let's say, when young adults are going into like the football league or the basketball league. They're gonna have their parent with them because the parent is gonna be a little bit more knowledgeable. Now, just because there's a certain group that don't respect women in its whole, right, and so they don't even want to hear the voice of a woman at all. They don't want to negotiate with a woman or have to explain anything to a woman. That has nothing to do with young adults and teenagers still needing guidance from their guardians. Okay, at the end of the day, it is not unlikely or unheard of for a mother who has been the guardian of this young adult for the past 20 years to say, okay, you know what? I know this is a new journey for you. I'm going to hold your hand to do this. Okay. Yes, you might have to go do this by yourself, ultimately without me, but I'm going to make sure that I walk you to the doorway. I'm going to walk you outside, and give you a nice hug and your last little hug and your kiss goodbye before you go on this walkabout. Now, maybe it's not the mother and the son that were in the wrong. Maybe it's the mindset of the person who was on the other side of that phone, thinking that a young adult is supposed to just immediately dive in without after being attached to their guardian. It doesn't matter if it's a male guardian or a female guardian. But if you want to be a sexist and think that a misogynistic asshole and think that a man is a young adult is not supposed to have the nurturing of the caring for or the guidance from their mother when they've been dependent on that for the past 20 years. I mean, it's just really, it's dumb, it's silly, it's a fucked up thought process.
Ma'am, I don't know what kind of males you have in your family. But where I'm from, 20 goddamn years old, you got hair on your nuts. You're supposed to be able to handle your own fucking business. You don't need your mother to call up and schedule your appearance to a damn convention. That's crazy.
I would like to
That's
continue
crazy.
my thought without emotional person. Thank you. Anyway, so like I said, at the end of the day, a young adult is a young adult, a young male child or a young female child. They have been dependent on their guardian for the past 20 years. It makes perfect sense why someone is going to go to their parent. Hey, what do you think about me going to the army? What do you think about me picking this college? Okay, even parents go to when a child is going to college. They go on road trips.
We're not talking about a child. Keep saying child.
Interrupted by emotional males.
On what fucking planet is a 20-something-year-old a child?
Males, please. I mean, you're going to get your chance to speak, sir. Thank you. So, like I said, parents will go
shit.
Emotionalism is not going to help your argument, sir. Please, thank you. So, like I said, parents will even go with their young adults to on college tours. It's an eventful thing because this is what happens. Okay, just because you're dealing with a group who have some sort of animosity towards women in general does not mean that that process is still not there. I mean, it makes complete and total sense for a young adult male to depend on the guidance of his mother if she's been guiding him for the past 20 years. This is simple. It's not rocket science. That's all I'm gonna say.
I will say, when I deal with the referees that I hire, there have been some young males who were in their young 20s. Their mother contacted me because they had their son wanting to get involved in officiating. And I would talk to the mother and the son as to what time the games were and what they needed to get on the basketball court and stuff like that. And then the young male would come, show up to the game. Sometimes they would come by themselves or their mothers would drop them off, but they would begin learning the process of becoming a basketball referee. But when the mother came, I never told that mother, I don't want to talk to you. I would want to talk to a mentor for the young man who could speak on his behalf. That person came to learn a skill to make some money. I'm going to give them the opportunity without that barrier in between.
A question, GMT. Referee, like, is it like lucrative, good money in that? The referee, or you have to be like a top referee, like more collegiate level?
Yeah, the good money is at the collegiate and professional level.
Did you ref Grandmaster Troll?
Did I ref when?
No, just a simple question, sir.
Yes, I do.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. So collegiate. So, but you're able to teach and train people that want to get into it, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So that's where the money really is at, because you're not going to collegiate. You gotta find ways to make your money.
But
I see with that Corvette. I mean, is that the latest Corvette you have, or are you going to upgrade?
No, I plan on keeping that one.
What year is that Corvette?
2002.
Oh, nice. Okay. All right. Continue.
Yeah, but in order to get to that collegiate level, you got to start at the lower levels.
Mm-hmm.
So to prevent a young man from coming in because he doesn't have a male mentorship or he doesn't know about the opportunity of officiating, but his mother, who's either a school teacher or maybe has another child playing CYO basketball, and that mother sees another young referee out there on the basketball court, and she thinks about her son and the opportunity for her son to get out there on the basketball court and learn a new skill and start a new career path. I don't see why another male mentor would have to vouch for that young male to join. I'm sure that Theo has his reasons, but for me and people like Trinity, they think of it in a different way, and people like Village Arsonists think that the male should know about each and every opportunity and explore those opportunities on their own. So there's different dynamics and situations, but for this one, I didn't see why that barrier needed to be there. I don't see why the young male wasn't accepted with open arms to learn information technology.
Well, he came, didn't he? He said he showed up, didn't he?
Yeah, he showed up.
Okay. So Theo didn't turn him away and say "fuck you," he's too young. Okay, I'm just checking because, like I said, I heard they were discriminating against young guys and didn't want to teach young guys anything and all of that. Theo could have just as easily said "fuck you." I don't want your son going.
He could have just said that's what I'm probably gonna do, man. Like I said, I probably
just said that, but he let him go.
Have a conversation with the brother personally.
Grandmaster Troll, I gotta tell you this. You notice how the white manosphere come together, trying to do something right, but us in the black manosphere, we just keep on beefing with each other instead of coming together, building something like technology or something. That's the main issue I'm having problems with now.
Yeah, I agree.
You notice that?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, the white manosphere has been having conferences for years, and this is one of the very first the official Black Manosphere meetup.
Oh, that's another thing. GMT, you compared the first Black Manosphere with like the 1021 convention. They've been doing that shit for years.
Yeah, but
and you've had black men are a part of that every year. By the way, you got black men.
I will say this. Mr. Triple X said that this is not the first time black men have created a so-called meetup Black Manosphere. He said that they done this 7 years ago. And I'm still waiting for that dude to pull up the videos, either full or clips of the video back in 2014 to know that, confirm that. But like I said, this is the only one I know, anybody else that's been knowing this movement now, that scene that was actually established for some time now. So like I said, Mr. Trebek said that this has happened 4 years ago, and I need verification. I need many videos, so we'll see if he pulls them up on this channel. Yeah, it's fine though.
Yeah, but the reason why I compare the Black Manosphere to the White Manosphere is because dudes in the Black Manosphere, like the Angry Man, like Obsidian, like Donovan Sharp, who all had connections through O'Shea and were once trying to build something together, they saw that how the Manosphere was able to have their conventions. They have similar goals. They're both about male empowerment. Black Manosphere is more with a black perspective on it. But the point is they saw how they were able to execute and could have reached out to those black men who went to and participated in and got some pointers, some tips that would have helped him. So when Theo talks about the problems we had with logistic situations, he had people in his camp like Obsidian who were part of that convention, who's even been connected with guys like Donovan Sharp, and they could have came up with solutions to some of the problems that they eventually had, which according to Theo were disappointments and derailed and put constraints on what they were trying to do. So that's why I make those comparisons.
That's correct.
So instead of Theo having those logistic problems, if he would have involved himself, or if Obsidian would have involved himself, or if O'Shea would have involved himself with the 21st convention, now when they have their conventions, instead of starting from ground zero, they will have a little bit experience, and the quality that they put out or the quality of their event could be better.
Or we can just be dignified black men standing on our own goddamn 10 toes and put our own shit together and stop trying to sit up under white man's nuts and ask a white daddy how to do some shit. We can just put some shit together ourselves, like these brothers did. They got up, they walked the walk, they talked the talk, and they walked the walk. Salute to Little Big Nate, salute to Theo Waf and all the brothers, man, that put this together. Fuck the haters, and I'm proud of you, brothers, man. I look forward to next year. I'm gonna go ahead and jump on off. I got shit to do. Appreciate you, DMT.
Well, this final thoughts, huh, Grandmaster Troll?
Yeah, it looks like
Oh, okay, okay,
nobody else
okay.
wants to come up, and I got stuff I gotta do today. So
Hey, people in the chat, I'm still supporting the Black Manosphere. Hey, I support the Black Manosphere, y'all. I ain't got much to say to this. So brothers should come together in the Black Manosphere, just work together. With that, I'm out. Peace. It's my final thoughts. I'm gone.
Trinity time travels.
Um, I want to say that I do like the idea of brothers getting together and linking with each other and networking. I personally wish it wasn't under the guise of basically it didn't have the foundation of bashing black women, but I do like the idea of men coming together and building or whatever. Also, what I want to say is like, come on, guys, moving forward. Okay, the jig is up. We all know that y'all are basically the black women that you complain about. So listen, why don't you just look in the mirror and face yourselves instead of pointing the finger at black women. Let the black women handle their issues and you focus on your issues, because it seemed like to me like we all got the same issues. Okay, so if y'all just focus on yourselves and the women focus on themselves, I think a whole lot more would get done. Okay, instead of doing all this gender warring. And also, like I said, back to these grown ass people bragging about basic adulting. Okay, that's played out. That's not the what's up. Okay, at the end of the day, it's just like, okay, let's just be out here, learning and growing without having to tear each other down. Okay, that is ignorant. Oh, and also I want to talk about to the manosphere. Now, why y'all doing all these courses and everything? Listen, here is a suggestion, okay? And so when y'all start doing it, make sure you remember me. Y'all need to put together a communication course. That's where you get these men together and teach them how to communicate effectively with each other and with women, so they don't not up here sounding overly emotional. Okay, y'all are here talking about masculinity, but then you come up here on these panels sounding like overly emotional hoes. You sound emotional. So if y'all teaching something, teach a communication effective communication course for these men. I am tired of listening to these men sounding like hoes, emotional, like they're about to cry. Wham. It gets tiresome. It's like I'm talking to a bunch of bitches. I listen. You want to be masculine, you want to be the leader and all that. Act like one, talk like one, walk it like you talk it. Okay, and listen and shame these men that sound like emotional hoes. This is not doing y'all any favors. I promise you that. These men are doing you a injustice. They think they're doing good for y'all by taking up for y'all. But if they come up here sounding like emotional hoes, they're setting you back because you're not looking like men. They're representing you as a whole, and you're all looking like hoes. So if you want to be represented like masculine men, y'all teach y'all nut cradlers how to talk like men rather than come up here arguing with women sounding like women. Like from the untrained eye, you don't know the difference between the man and the woman talking. Okay, a grown ass man over talking women and cat fighting and doing the lobos and the insults and ain't got really nothing to say and just being and cradling nuts all day. This shit is crazy. Y'all talking about that woman calling in for her son. A lot of times I'll be like, y'all need to call y'all mamas to hold y'all hand through the conversation because you're too emotional. You can't handle it. Y'all here in this world, you don't know what's going on. You don't know how to communicate. You don't know how to talk. I mean, how can you trust a person like that to go into a business meeting and not lose their fucking mind and be uber emotional and make you lose the deal? So guess what? Y'all gonna teach something. Start at the basics. Communication, understanding, listening with comprehension, okay, and all of that. That is the foundation of building masculinity. How are you going to sit there and build with each other if you can't communicate effectively with each other? That's all I got to say.
All right, we got a new panel participant. We got Faith in the building. Tell us what's on your mind.
Oh man, I've been trying to get up here for the longest, but my StreamYard's been acting up. Great job, by the way, GMT. The last couple of days, you have really been keeping your boot on these people's necks, and I'm telling you, it's needed. It really is. I don't like Trinity Travel says, Black people going back and forth with each other with the childish, name calling and different things of that nature. I don't get down like that, but ARC had a point on Reg the Bad Guy's channel the other day when he was saying that a lot of these guys set themselves up for this a long time ago. And here's what I mean when I say this. I keep bringing it up, but you guys, I don't know if you remember the pink pill when Crystal Carrison had her meet and greet for sisters that wanted to improve and better themselves. And when she came out with the pictures from that meet and greet, all of these guys, I'm not going to say all of them, but a great majority of the Black Manosphere men, their channels blew up talking about how fat those women were at that meetup. They talked about how ugly those women were. They talked about Crystal Carrison and how she was cheap and how the meetup wasn't all that great. They went in on the pink pill. And they did this for maybe about a week after the meetup. Their channels were blowing up talking about those women and their weight and their fat and their water buffaloes. But it's mighty funny. They can dish it. They can dish it. But it doesn't seem as if they want to take it.
Mm-hmm.
How can you sit up here and set a precedence of we want women to be fit, feminine, and friendly? We want you all to have a size 6, wear a size 6 dress. We want you to look this way and that way. But for years, you men, and I'm not saying all Black men, but the ones, mostly the Manosphere men, I'm just going to be honest. You guys are not fit. A great majority of you are not fit. A lot of you are not masculine. And you damn sure haven't been friendly to nobody.
That part.
So how is it that you can demand what you yourself are not? But you want to sit here and you want to control women all the time. Now, I do give them a E for effort because they did try to get together and they tried to do something with other Black men, but it was not inclusive of very many young Black men. And the same way that they tell Black women that, oh, you old women need to get out the way and pave the way for the young Black women. Mm-hmm. Well, that conference had a whole lot of old Black men that didn't seem to be concerned with paving the way for young Black men. Mm-hmm. So I do see a lot of projecting. Yep. The very things that they have accused Black women of doing, they themselves do. They're jealous of young Black men. And it shows. This was not a coincidence that conference had a whole bunch of AARP elderly men with big pot bellies waddling around. That was no coincidence. But they want you to think it was. Oh, we're not excluding anyone. We're not doing that. And as for the big mystery with this $30,000, you can look at that event. And they got all types of clips online. They even got clips inside the presidential suite. I was not very impressed with any of it. Now, when Crystal Carrison did her event, you saw clips of her doing activities with the ladies. She had goodie bags, little pinky goodie bags. So the ladies came and they got gifts.
Flowers and centerpieces.
Yes. flowers and centerpieces, you know, that sort of thing. They didn't even get any of that together for themselves. So I'm sitting here wondering, how the hell do these men think that they can lead anything? These guys, if you were to give them the reins and let them lead anything in the community, I promise you, we will be back in the Congo, rolling around in dirt, swatting flies off our behinds. If they didn't think enough of themselves to do a better event than what they did, they can't lead anything. And I'm sorry, you know, I know that's their first event and everything like that, but they set themselves up from the jump for this criticism. They said they did it to themselves, and now they don't want to take the criticism. Tough titty.
Now you said something, Faith, that I 1000% agree with you. When you said they demand that women are compliant and friendly and fit, and these men has been everything but friendly to us. Okay, every other word that man was talking about he was talking about that young man's mother, and he called her a bitch. He called that man's mama a bitch. Why she gotta be a bitch? Like, so it's just like the
Exactly.
hatred in your bone marrow. And it's like y'all not friendly to us, and then when we start snapping back at you, all of a sudden, you see, that's why the modern day woman. No, this is what you built. You're looking at a reflection of you.
Exactly. And see, they don't want to deal with that. But this is what you set up. This is the precedence that you set up from the very jump. So I have to give a shout out, and like I said, this came from ARC on Reg the Bad Guy's channel. I sat there and I watched him. He made a lot of sense. He made a lot of great points. Him and BMT. So if you guys hadn't got a chance to watch Reg the Bad Guy's critique of the Manosphere meetup, you will see ARC and BMT and quite a few other brothers on there, but they had a pretty decent discussion about it.
Mm-hmm.
But that's all I wanted to say.
So speaking of ARC, it looks like we got him on the panel. So we got a lot of experience. You know, ARC has wrote a number of books, probably had conventions and book signings himself. So first, tell me your thoughts on the meetup, and tell me on the logistics and the cost of setting up these meetings and conventions, and how are they done?
Well, thank you for having me. I think this is only the second time I think I've ever been on your panel.
Yep, second time.
Greetings to Trinity and Faith.
Hi.
Yeah, it's the discussion about this has been interesting. And as Faith already mentioned, I expressed a few thoughts on Reg. I want to say that was just yesterday. Here's one thing that's bothering me. The reality is this: anything you sponsor any event, activity that the general public has access to it, then you automatically open it up to public critique, good, bad, and otherwise. So this meetup was not a private event. It was not a closed event. Obviously, they had people uploading video coverage using their smartphones of this event. So once you do that, you open the event up to public critique. Now, when I critique something like a Black Manosphere meetup, I'm gonna always try to be objective. I'm never gonna come and offer comments that are just blatantly or maliciously mean-spirited. I'm always try to be objective. But one thing that bothered me that I mentioned on Reg, like I heard somebody in your live stream, GMT, try to suggest that this was the very first black meetup of black men from YouTube that's almost ever existed. So everybody forgot about C Boogie's events. So everybody just automatically forgot about C Boogie's events. C Boogie has given like 4 self-improvement events, starting with 2019. He's given 4 self-improvement events. And people been saying that people are hating on this Black Manosphere. There was a lot of people hating on C Boogie's event. There was a lot of black men in this space hating on C Boogie. C Boogie had a lower budget. He didn't have the type of budget that Theo Waf has. I think he was working with somewhere between like maybe a $500 to $7,500 budget. He didn't have the greatest of venues. It wasn't no real upscale venue he had. But he had good attendance. I think his highest attendance was around maybe 40 guys, 40 brothers. He had Rom Wheels that spoke for free, and Rom don't normally speak for free. And their objectives centered around self-improvement for black men. They had discussions about mental health, relationships with your mother and father and siblings, health and fitness, achieving your career goals, and etc. But yet, brothers was taking pot shots at C Boogie's event, but now with this event, everybody's like, oh man, no, nobody should be saying anything negative or critical about this event. And this is the first event. Man, get out of here with that shit. Get out of here with that shit, man. C Boogie did the same thing and did not get that much due respect, because in real blunt terms, it's a lot of brothers in this space that don't like C Boogie. They don't like him as a man, so they hated on his event, made fun of it. So that's one thing I mentioned, and that's one thing I'm tired of. And as I think Faith already mentioned, as well as some other people, on this whole looks thing, I got into at least one debate in somebody's comment section about the looks thing. Like, there was a brother wrote, I think it was on Reg the Bad Guy's comment section. There was a brother that wrote that black men should never be critiquing or offering a critique or evaluation of another man's looks. Then he went as far as to say, what you men don't realize is that women don't care about men's looks like we care about their looks. In what alternative reality does this happen? Where women are not visual? What alternative reality does this happen? What the fuck are you talking about? Women don't care about men's look. The hell they don't. I mean, the hell they don't. Yes, they don't. I've never met a woman that told me she didn't care about a man's looks at all. I've never met a woman that told me she didn't care a man's looks at all, unless she was a street prostitute or professional call girl or something similar. So for this guy, I had an exchange where he's saying women don't even pay attention to men's looks. That is bullshit. As far as men commenting on other men's looks, man, that's been going on for years. Everybody, I don't know what type of high school you went to, but when I was in middle school, in high school, we used to play the dozens, which nowadays I guess they call it just simply roasting.
Mm-hmm.
And when guys played the dozens, that was usually the number one thing that guys did, is talk about each other, something to do with other guys' looks. When I was particularly in middle school and to a lesser extent high school, whenever guys got into roasting sessions, the number one thing that usually guys talked about, targeted, was something to do with another guy's look. If they felt like he had a real big head, that guy would get roasted on the size of his head. Yeah, like I use myself as that one facial feature I used to get roasted on in middle school was my nose. A lot of guys felt like my nose was disproportionately larger than the rest of my face. So I used to get, big nose jokes. Like my own brother for a while used to call me Snorky because he said I had a big nose. And, but yeah, I mean, guys have always commented on other guys' looks. So for a guy to say that guys shouldn't be commenting on looks, that's invalid. And what's even 5 times more invalid, though, is this insinuation that even women don't pay attention to guys' looks. That's ridiculous. Now, see, some people say guys shouldn't comment on guys' looks, but right here in your chat room, somebody's saying ARC light-skinned, though. What the fuck does that got to do with anything? But yet guys want to say that guys shouldn't be commenting on guys' looks. But ever since I've been on YouTube, guys say, oh, ARC, man, the only reason he been successful with women because he a light-skinned pretty boy. If I ain't heard that once, I've heard it 250 times. Oh, ARC always be talking about his mode one approach and his mouthpiece, but really those things they ain't helped him with women. What helped him with women is he a light skin. I had a guy just this past weekend on a video say that. This guy was doing evaluation of different guys on Black YouTube, and my name was included. And he said, ARC, man, I like ARC. He's a cool brother. He got a great sense of humor. But he said, if I got one criticism of him, ARC, man, be acting like it's his mode one philosophy and his mouthpiece that helped him seduce a lot of women over the course of his life. He said, nah, man, he said, all you gotta do is look at ARC. He a light-skinned pretty boy, man. He's in the same category as El DeBarge. So of course he was gonna pull women. But yet, you got guys saying that guys shouldn't concentrate on looks. Guys been concentrating on my looks for the last 4.5 years on this motherfucker.
Mm-hmm.
People been concentrating on my looks for the last 4. So any guy on Black YouTube that's saying guys shouldn't be commenting on my looks and taking it a step further, some guys said they think it's feminine for a guy, then my $1 million question is, then why guys be bringing up my looks so motherfucking much? You did if it's factual that that's feminine, then there's a lot of feminine motherfuckers on Black YouTube then. Cause I never had so many. I've never had so many men probably since my high school days to bring up my looks. And more specifically, this whole light-skinned pretty boy comment.
Can you hear me? Hey, speaking of looks, I had a violent gorilla simp in the chat try to say something about my chest. Number one, you niggas are going afraid to show your body because you know what you look like in the mirror naked. GMT, I put a video showing my chest. Apparently the doctor fucked up on my chest. So why don't you roll that beautiful beam footage and I'm all natural, okay? So while you sitting here commenting on other people's looks, you're gonna have to outdo me first. That's number one. Yeah. So violent gorilla simps, eat your heart out. He's about to roll that footage. Because I know the fuck you playing with the right one today.
All right, on that note, GFT, I'm gonna drop down. I pretty much said everything I wanted to say.
Hold on,
Respect to you, brother.
before you drop down, I got one question that I wanted you to ask, since you had knowledge in regards to doing conventions, book signings, and everything like that. What are the logistics on how everything is set up? No, we seen Derek Jackson do them. We seen the 21st convention. Just tell us your experience in doing and participating in these conventions and how things are set up.
I would probably say, if I had to divide all events in, say, 3 tiers: top tier, average tier, and amateurish tier, I've probably been a speaker, panelist, or participant in at least one event in each of those categories. Going with top tier, 21 conventions. Anthony Johnson, I give him none but props. 21 convention is a very exceptionally. I participated, as most people know or should know, my claim to fame with the 21 convention, I was actually the first African American male self-help guru they ever had speak at their convention. At that time, it had been going on for 10 years. And they had non-Caucasian guys before. They had like a couple of Arab, Indian guys speak before. They had a couple of Hispanic guys speak. But they had actually never had a black dude speak at the 21. I was, in 2017, late September 2017, I was the first black male self-help guru they ever had speak. And then I spoke in October of 2018. And anyway, his event is top-notch, man. 21 convention is top-notch. Like, here would be one comparison I would give, and I gave the same comparison on Reg, to say the Black Manosphere meetup this past weekend. One thing I didn't like, and it's real minor, I admit this is somewhat minor, but a lot of people were having uploads from the Black Manosphere meetup using like their cell phone, smartphone, and just the general nature of some of those uploads just made it look amateurish, man. Like 21 convention, Anthony didn't allow people to record anything with their cell phone. That was strictly prohibited. Like if you were an audience member, just a regular participant in the event, you couldn't take your cell phone and like I'll use myself. If I was speaking, nobody could just pull out their cell phone and record me speaking and then upload it to Twitter or Facebook or whatever. That was strictly prohibited.
Mm-hmm.
He only had professional people upload coverage of the event. And all his uploads looked very professional, full of like visual bells and whistles. So everything from start to finish about Anthony Johnson's 21 convention was what I would put in the top tier category. If there's one other event I was a featured speaker at, there was a former PUA in the Manosphere who used to be fairly well known. He goes by the name Sasha Daygame. He sponsored this event in 2010 in London, England, called the Direct Dating Summit Weekend Conference for Men. And I was one of the top 3 featured speakers. And I was actually the only black speaker there. And that event in London was top tier in terms of organization, the sound system, top-notch videography, top-notch photography, top-notch food for the guys for lunch, the venue we were in, all of that. It was top-notch. It was top tier. It was top tier. Middle tier would be some of the book signing events I've had some people sponsor for me over the years. They weren't exactly, poor or unorganized, but they weren't necessarily top tier. I'll put them in the middle tier category. Yeah, I've had probably like 5 or 6 book signing events that I would say that fell into that middle tier category, where they were generally organized, but there were some things that could have been better.
Mm-hmm.
There was, whether it be something to do with videography, photography, sound, just overall visuals of the event. There were some things that could have been better. And then I participated probably 1 or 2 events that were just, low quality, amateurish. And I think if you're going to give off an amateurish type event, you need to say that ahead of time. You need to say, hey, this is going to be my first time sponsoring an event. Hey, guys, give me a break. I'm probably not going to have the best of this or the best of that. So when you guys see photographs or videos of this event, don't be expecting too much because it's my first time sponsoring an event. My budget's low. Kind of prepare people that it's not going to be the greatest of events. The worst thing you could do is brag that you're about to sponsor an A+ grade event, but it's only a C+ grade event. That makes you look bad. If you come out saying, hey, this event we're going to have, man, it's going to be top notch. Everything's going to be top notch A grade. But then when people see photographs and videos, they're like, yeah, they don't look A grade. They don't look top notch. That's going to make you look stupid. You just got to be prepared for that.
Another question. When you were involved with the 21st convention and the dating summit out in London, does it actually going and participating in these events give you a better understanding if you want to do your own event and what you need and how to organize it? And couldn't have those dudes who, let's be honest, they've hated on the white manosphere strictly because they were predominantly white and didn't want to participate in those events. Wasn't that a missed opportunity to go learn something and maybe bring it back to the Black Manosphere and do something of their own?
Now, I think that's a very good point, actually, GMT. I think anybody who wants to sponsor a large-scale event or even a medium-scale event should always do what's generally referred to as their due diligence. Meaning that, as you just suggested, they should attend somebody else's well-organized event, take a lot of notes, have the notepad ready, take a lot of notes, even if possible, talk to the organizers of the event you're attending and ask them questions like, hey, how did you go about setting this up? And, how did you get this sound system? And is there ways to cut costs but still have and just as many questions as you could think of. And you soak up that person's knowledge. I mean, because I'm going to be honest, I I know this is a little controversial area, but by now a lot of people should know, Donovan Sharp was a speaker at the 21 convention the second year I spoke in 2018. He spoke, I think, in 2018, 2020. Then him and Anthony Johnson had somewhat of a falling out. He took what he learned and he started his own conference called the Conference for Masculine Excellence or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But he basically stole a lot of stuff he learned from Anthony Johnson.
Mm-hmm.
Because he participated in like 3 or 4 of Anthony's events. And yeah, he stole a lot of what he learned about how Anthony organized the 21 convention and tried to use that knowledge, to do his own thing. Yeah, but back to your point, that's definitely ideally what you should do. Nobody should try to sponsor any large-scale event if they haven't absorbed firsthand knowledge from watching somebody else do it first. You asking for many aspects of your event to come across as amateurish. You're almost asking for it. Like, I'll give you, and I said this on Reg, so I'll say it again. And some people, in fairness, could call this a nitpicky criticism. But one thing I had at least a minor criticism of that I saw from the Black Manosphere meetup, when Obsidian was on stage, there was nothing on stage with him. There was no podium. There was no small table with like a glass of water. There was no flat screen monitor behind him in case he wanted to use like what do you call that? PowerPoint?
Mm-hmm. Projector?
Yeah, projector, PowerPoint, no whiteboard, like nothing. It was just bare. I've never seen that at any type of like conference or convention where you just get like a bare stage with like nothing. Not a chair, table with a glass of water, podium, white screen, PowerPoint screen projector, nothing. I've literally never seen that. And that kind of, to me, it's just my own opinion, that made that aspect of the event look kind of amateurish, man. It made it look amateurish. It's almost like, what's the point of having somebody on stage just standing up there talking? He could just be standing in the hotel conference room floor. If you're gonna do that, you could have just had old man standing like, in front of the crowd on the conference room floor, just talking. He didn't need to be on stage. But every well-organized conference, convention, whatever I've been a part of or I've been a participant in, when they had a stage, they always had something on there. There was always like a table on the stage with the speakers, with a complimentary glass of water for them, a podium, again, a whiteboard, a PowerPoint projector screen.
Hey,
Always one of those 4 things on the
Hey,
stage.
I would like to ask you a question.
Sure.
So, are we in agreement that men that cannot even lead a conference are in no position to lead the Black community and the 6.5 million Black women in the United States, that they maybe need to take a time out and go and get some leadership skills, organizational skills? I mean, if you can't organize a conference for how many people were there? 100 or so? And it really looked like the grandsons brought their granddaddies to the conference to make sure they didn't fall. So if they're not in a position to organize that and lead a small 100 people or 200 people, they're in no position at this time to lead Black women, and that they need to take a time out, take some remedial courses, some education and leadership conferences and skills from other people, and come back to the table to lead.
What's your name? What's your name, young lady?
You can just call me Koja.
Koja. Now, Koja, I don't know how familiar you are with the demographic of the Black Manosphere meetup. And I think
I'm just saying,
GMP
that I
with
saw
Kotai
there,
would be
that's
on
why
there.
I asked you. but
See, most of the
it's not
brothers
even
who attended that event, they not really feeling black women like that. So you talking about black
But
men
I'm not
leading?
talking black women, but the black community. They're not in a position to lead themselves, let alone other black men that are looking to them as leaders, if they can't even lead them to a conference.
Well, I don't know if I want to make a blanket
You just said they didn't have
judgment
even
about
a
them like
basic
that.
podium. They didn't even
But
have a basic podium.
yeah,
If you
well,
can't
comparatively
organize,
speaking, I'll say compared to more well-organized events, I'll just say yes. There were a lot
I'm
of
saying
aspects.
if you had to grade them on a scale of A to F, we know the A to F scale. What would you give their organizational and leadership skills for this conference?
C plus.
C plus? You're generous. I mean, yeah, that's very generous, but okay. You
Yeah,
just said their pictures suck.
C plus
You
is
just
fair.
said
It's fair.
their photos suck. Their uploads, they failed to tell people not to video and upload stuff. They didn't have the necessary equipment. It looked like it smelled like mothballs in there to me, just from the look. It looked like the basic nursing home activity room. That's what it
You
looked
can
like
tell
to
how a
me.
place smell by looking at a video.
It looked like the activity room in a nursing home.
Well,
But
let me
since you yourself just admitted it was below subpar, if they're below subpar and organize an event this small, how can they organize the what 5.5 million black men and boys in this country?
Well, let me add this, Koja. I would agree with you. However, Theo was able to point out the deficiencies and the problems that he has. And I think it's fair with his meetup that he plans it is going to have in Houston. He'll have a chance to make an adjustment. Now, if Theo came on Reg the Bad Guys platform and said, everything is great and I'm looking to do the exact same thing, I think you would have a real strong critique in regards to his leadership skills. But one thing that a leader is supposed to do is to see what they do wrong, point it out, see the solution, identify it, and then solve it, and then execute it on the next time he goes out there.
Granted, and you can come, like when you're in class and the teacher give you your test paper back and say, go correct these. At this point, right now in history, they don't possess the skill set necessary. I'm not saying they can't come back and correct their paper and get a better grade, but today, at this present time, with their portfolio or their body of work being what they just gave, they're not ready. But I got to get ready to go. I just wanted to ask that question. And ARC, I don't think they're ready. And you're very generous, C plus, but you must be grading on the curve. But that's okay. Your teacher don't want to take all of your confidence. So you have to give them a little something. You know how the supervisors do. Say something nice before you go and unload on them. But I feel you. Hey Trinity, I'm gonna catch y'all later.
All right. Hey, GMT. Now, unless you got another relevant question for me, I'm gonna go ahead and drop down because I didn't want to come up here and be too long-winded. But
no,
some of my general
Hey,
thoughts.
I would say ARC is kind of good that you're back on the YouTube, pushing harder now, taking the advantage now. Kind of glad you're doing that now. I can see you're gonna be growing much faster now. Direction you're going right now.
Well,
in my opinion.
I like that confident, optimistic assessment. I hope my channel.
Oh man, you have to be confident, brother. You know what I'm saying? Because whatever you try to do, if you just keep pushing through, you're gonna get the results. Trust me. This is the time now to push through now, ARC. You get me?
I appreciate that. Yeah, as you know, I think Chaos. I just had a challenging battle with COVID-19. I won round one.
Okay.
And I'm recovering. My lung strength is not back to 100%. Even to a certain extent, my vocal strength is not back to 100%. But I'm getting better each day, and I hope to definitely push on through the 2022, and I hope it'll be great for me with my channel growth and all that type of stuff. So I appreciate your kind words of encouragement.
How long ago was this, ARC?
I was in the hospital the week. What was it? That full week before Thanksgiving, I was in the hospital.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Are you able to take the shot after recovery? Will they give you that shot? If possible?
Well, no, they didn't. If that's your way of asking me, am I vaccinated? I don't usually like talk about that
No, I'm saying,
publicly.
are you able to after recover from it? Are you able to?
Oh yeah, I'm
You know,
recovering now. I'm at home recovering. I've been recovering for the last. I got
okay.
released. I got released from the hospital that Saturday before Thanksgiving, and since then I've been recovering. The main thing I do at home, I have a bunch of oxygen vials. I do what's known as oxygen lung therapy, where you wear
Mm-hmm.
that little, plastic thing under your nose, and that's been
Yeah.
helping me get better. I'm actually doing a YouTube live stream though tomorrow. That'd be my first public live stream since I've had the COVID battle. So I must feel
Oh
healthy enough
wow.
to do that. But yeah, that's the main thing I've been doing. And yeah, it was challenging though. I didn't experience the worst of it. When you experience the
Mm-hmm.
worst of COVID is when you have to go to ICU, intensive
The
care unit.
the ER and stuff. Yeah.
I didn't get to that point. But here's one final note on it. What was interesting when I got released, they played this song, and the nursing staff started clapping. And the nurse who was moving my wheelchair, I said, "Wow, I've been in the hospital before. I never got all of this, to do." I said, "Wow, why is everybody like celebrating?" And the woman said to me, she said, "Mr. Curry, I have to let you know, in this particular hospital, you're one of only roughly 10 to 15% of men that are 50 years of age or older that made it out alive." I said, "Really?" She said, "Yeah,
Yeah.
most of the guys who come in for COVID that were 50 years of age or older, they either passed away a few days or a few weeks after they came into the hospital, or if they're still alive, they're in intensive care and they're fighting for their life." But she said, "You must have had a reasonably strong immune system." She said that no one people get the worst of people who even before they contract COVID have some type of weakened or compromised immune system. But she said, "Mr. Curry, we're surmising
Mm-hmm.
that you had a reasonably strong immune system, and that's why you ended up getting out of here in roughly a week." But she said, "A lot of guys your age, they didn't make it out." And I was just like, wow. So I felt very grateful. On
Well,
that note,
one thing.
go ahead,
Okay.
one more
I
thing.
was gonna say this one thing. One thing I would say is that's one factor, but another factor is that you have something to live for because you have a son here to be around just enough longer. You get me? And that probably helped bring your will to get through this, in my opinion. You get me?
Yeah, that's probably true. Yeah. So again,
All
respect to
right.
you,
Well,
GFT.
thank you.
I'm out.
All right. Thank you.
Pardon me?
We got entertainment. Tell us what's on your mind.
Hey, what's up, Grandmaster Troll? This is Infamous here.
How you doing? Okay,
I'm gonna
infamous.
talk about the Black Manosphere meeting up in Atlanta. Now, I'm the opposite. I'm trying to encourage these guys because we need to be organized. See, problem with the Black community, we quick to scrutinize each other. We need to come together. Now, I agree with you on one aspect where you were saying that they want to compete with Google and YouTube, but they could barely afford barely could afford camera equipment and the basic necessities to run a podcast. I agree with you on that. But like I said before, I'm going to support the Black Manosphere. We have to support each other because, a lot of people out there, want this to flop. They want this to flop here. So I'm going to support the gentleman. I'm going to support the Black Manosphere. Keep up the good work, okay? I'm out.
Okay, that was cool. That was cool.
So
Yeah,
chaos.
but like I said,
Trinity, any final thoughts?
No, I pretty much said what I want to say, so wake him up.
not to speak.
Yeah, go ahead, chaos.
No. She sound low. That's what you heard. Yeah, I don't know, man. Just that's pretty much it. I can't really talk nothing bad about what Batman do moving forward. At least it's a step in the right direction. I don't expect perfection right off the bat, but something that you have to always improve with every event you broadcast every year. Now, I expect since Theo knows the things that they should not do, move forward, and improve on, I think the one in Houston's gonna be a little better. Give me. I mean, but like I said, most people that got the money to travel and go up there were able to attend. And you know how most niggas nowadays, some of them they probably had the money to go travel anyway. So some that will sit back and just be spectator, in my opinion. But that's all I'm saying.
All right, those are Chaos final thoughts. It looks like somebody put a video in the private chat for me to play.
Yeah,
Let's see if
that was
I.
me. That was for the Violent Gorilla Simp who wanted to make it funny and say that my doctor did a botched job. Number one, I've never had any surgery. I'm all natural, baby.
No, that's all natural right there.
All natural, sweetheart. So, these violent gorilla simps, they do anything for the clout. They want to audition for Trinity Time Travels. Anywhere they go, they see me, they want to act a fool. They want to be seen. So,
Okay. Any other final thoughts before I shut this one down? It was good having everybody that came on. So you about to do a live stream, Trinity?
yep, I'm about to go live right now.
Alright, she's about to go live right now. I might go live later on tonight. Definitely tomorrow morning. Depending on what happens. Got a couple of things I want to talk about, but I want to thank everybody who supported the show. Let me see, make sure I got everybody that did. See if I can pull it up. Okay, we had Faith, Ken, and May come through. Looks like I'm going to have to update my list and retally everything up. But I'm going to close this one down. Shout out to Chaos, Trinity, ARC, Koja Mac, Faith, the Village Arsonist, everybody who came up on the panels and gave their opinions. Much appreciated. I'm going to close this one out. Peace.